has shattered the lives of those he loved and those who loved him. To Charlie's wife, Erica, his 2 young children, his parents, his family, and his friends, I express my sincere condolences and offer my heartfelt prayers on your behalf. I also want to express my concern for everyone who was at Charlie's Turning Point USA event at the Utah Valley University, and all who have been impacted by this tragedy. As county attorney, I am charged with bringing justice to those who offend our laws. I am charged with bringing justice for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously. Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating
We're honored to be partnering with the Alan Jackson Ministries, and today I want
when you actually get into the meat of it, it's like, oh, actually, maybe it does make sense. And so I think it's really valuable to start giving these ideas to the world. And so this is one of these options. But I guess my question is this the best way? Because when I hear, like, for example, on Reddit, they're like, don't approach him, don't do this, he's just doing that, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's using all these tactics. And so I wonder if you've considered, not to say that this is a bad way to go about it, but if there's maybe a slightly better way, because I think what you're saying has a lot of value in this world, but it's like in this school specifically, it is thought of as evil and as like not like a valid way to think.
That's a UC San Diego problem, not a Charlie Kirk problem, right?
No, and it's not, and it's not to say it's a problem of you. No.
And I meaning, like, I read there was some op-ed journalists where they said ignore Charlie, ignore him. Well, what they're saying is that they are not either smart enough or they're not intellectually mature enough to have a discussion with a conservative on any issue. I have literally almost no notes. I have like a couple charts to show you if the topics come up. You guys can use AI, you guys can use Grok, you could do whatever you want. You could bring a professor, you could bring 5 of your top libs together, debate me, right?
Yeah.
Other side? Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And you guys can debate me at any time. I fail to understand why, well, actually I know the reason. Speech is not a left-wing value. And they do not believe in freedom of speech. They believe in totalitarian control. There are exceptions to that. So if they have a problem, I think this is one of the best ways, not the best way. I literally could not be more open to disagreement. I say if you disagree, you go to the front of the line.
Yeah.
And I mean, how often do you as conservatives get a chance to challenge liberals on campus, right? And being welcomed, ever?
Oh, absolutely, almost never. Definitely
Because
not in
speech is not a
class.
left-wing value.
No, but to say that, I mean, with all of that being said, it is very true. But ultimately, what happens here is I see a lot of, like, the ideas just being, like, bubbled against. And so, like, when I talk to my friends, their ideas aren't changed from these conversations. And so I wonder if there's just, like, a...
You would be surprised. Sorry to interrupt. What happens here gets seen hundreds of millions of times on social media.
Absolutely, yes.
The crowds are growing. And so, look, some people are going to remain closed-minded. They're not going to, you know, have their horizons open. But
Concentrate fire on the target. Enemy battleship sunk. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy submarine spotted. Attention, reporting the target position. Enemy heavily damaged. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy battleship foundered. I need intelligence data.
that's on them, right? They have to actually want to pursue the truth and not just have their own worldview confirmed.
And then I guess that's where I disagree, because I think fundamentally there is truth within anything, and I believe that maybe I would ask you, like, to say, to see that, like, you have a big role in this. You have a big fan base and a big media base that you are making incredible change, and to take it just one step further would be really trying to push the narrative against this being like a place where people are just like debating. It's more than that.
What would you like to see?
I guess maybe it's more of a question. I guess, I don't know, moving forward, like trying to maybe to see that, like, instead of using these really fast tactics and to really like try to bring it down, not to say someone is, not to say that they're, no.
I disagree with all that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking way too much about libs on Reddit. I care about normal people, so.
No,
yeah.
But the...
I mean, you did bring up Reddit. I'm sorry. You're like...
No, I guess that's true. No, and I guess
so
maybe...
these people are not well socially adjusted, right? I talk to the 90% of the American people that actually want to make something of their life and, you know, have kids and...
No, and I couldn't agree more with that, like, stance. I guess maybe stepping away from Reddit, it's, to me, the people on this campus, this is a school I go to, and almost everyone I'm surrounded with has a completely different view from me, and
Not everybody.
No, and this is like, but this, like, the people here, to find them, it feels like you're like sifting through a needle in a haystack.
You want a hat?
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. Disagreements, come to the front of the line. Yes.
So I have a couple points that I want to talk about in illegal immigration. Is it okay if I say all of them with no interruptions? Okay, cool. So first, illegal immigrants power our economy. They're 50% of U.S. farm workers, harvesting the food on our tables, and fill 70% of construction jobs in states like Texas. They pay 13 billion annually in taxes, including 2 billion to Social Security that they can't claim. Deporting them would slash agricultural output by 60 billion and raise food prices by 6%. Why gut our farms and wallets when these workers fuel our prosperity? That's my first point. Second point, they strengthen our communities with lower crime rates. So in Texas, undocumented immigrants have a 26 lower percent homicide conviction rates. So, which is 2.2 per 100,000 versus 3 for native-born citizens. Nationally, immigrants are incarcerated at half the rate of native-born, where it's 0.85% versus 1.71%. That's according to Bureau of Justice Statistics from 2019. So if safety is your goal, why deport people who make our streets safer? This is my third point. Mass deportation tears apart American families. Over 4.4 million U.S. citizens, children have an undocumented parent, and in Texas, 1 in 7 kids lives in a mixed status household. Okay, this is my fourth point. Deportation is a fiscal nightmare. Removing 11 million people would cost 315 to 400 billion. More than the entire Homeland Security budget and shrink our GDP by 1.7 trillion over 10 years. And this is my last point. Our immigration system is broken, pushing people to cross illegally. Visa waits Mexicans can exceed 20 years, and the asylum blockage is 1.3 million cases, with hearings 4 to 6 years out. Okay.
You done?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, so without looking at the phone, look at me. What
Sure.
should the penalty be for breaking into America?
I think there should be a system where it's more merit-based. So if this person...
No, penalty. So what is the penalty? So what should happen to you?
It's not a felony, it's a
No,
misdemeanor.
it is. That's not true. It's 8 U.S.C. 1312. You can look it up right now.
It's a felony if it's done twice. If
No,
you try to cross
that's
the
not
border,
correct.
that is correct.
That is not correct.
I Googled it, dude.
To illegally go across the southern border with the well intent to come into harbor yourself into the interior of the United States, the violation of 8 U.S.C. 1312,
Okay.
which is a felony in the federal criminal code. Now, it can be enforced as a misdemeanor, or it can be upwards to 5 years in prison.
Okay.
Now, I want to know, since it's a felony, law in the
Sure.
books, 8 U.S.C. 1312,
Yeah.
what should the penalty be?
Well, in my opinion, these kinds of laws are usually they're what do you call it? They're sorry. Usually the sorry. Wait, sorry. Can I check my phone real quick? I apologize. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
What should the penalty be
Okay.
for someone that breaks or comes into America illegally? What should the penalty be?
I think there should be a merit system where the people. Okay, the
Not
penalty.
answer.
All right, let's.
That's
the penalty.
not the answer. It's a very simple moral
Okay.
and legal question.
Okay,
What
sure.
should the penalty be if you come into America illegally?
Okay, so since it's a misdemeanor, not a felony, misdemeanors
I
are.
just told you it's not 8. You can look up on
That's
your
not
chat
true.
GPT what is
Yeah,
8
yeah.
USC. Look up what is 8 USC 1312.
No, I know. I've already looked it up.
Yes,
When it's your second time crossing the border illegally, then it becomes a felony.
it can be, and it is enforced as a felony, and it usually is done as a misdemeanor citation because no one has the stones to do 20 million felony applications.
Okay.
So I just want to ask,
Yeah.
what should the penalty be then for someone that comes into this country illegally?
Usually there's 3 ways that go about this when there's a penalty. There's either like a fine, or there's some kind of public service that this person does, or you send them back. But
Send them back. I agree. That's what we should do.
Okay. So this is interesting. So one of the statistics that I read said that illegal immigrants don't cause as much they don't break the law as often as people who are native born.
Well, hold on. Time out.
That is statistic.
But
time out.
But
dude.
every single one of them are criminals. They're all criminals.
Okay, sure. By law.
Well, hold
by
on.
law.
No,
okay,
no.
by law. Of course.
But
Of course they are.
wait, so
I
if
agree that
they commit less crime and they're all criminals, Wait a
Okay,
second.
so
By
you're basically-
definition,
yeah.
they all have broken the law by being here, and they break
Okay.
the law every day by staying here, because you're
Okay.
actually not allowed to stay here either. Do you know that?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
every
yeah.
day you're here, you're actually continually breaking the law. You can't break in or harbor. That's what the federal law says.
Okay.
So by breaking in, it's not just the only law they broke. Every second you remain here, you're also
Yeah.
breaking the law. So that statistic is invalidated by just them breathing here. They're breaking the law.
No, of course not. Of course not. So, of course, it makes sense for them when they're here. They're breaking the law because they're illegal immigrants, obviously. But once they're of course. So once they're here, once they are here, what kind of harm are they actually doing? When you look at the numbers statistically,
lot.
No, that's not true. Okay,
Black
so look,
wages have
in
gone
Texas,
down.
Okay, in Texas,
DUIs have gone up
Try
dramatically.
not to interrupt, bro.
Well,
Okay,
hold
so
on. I'm interjecting, and I let you go uninterrupted with your whole soliloquy,
true, yeah,
right?
thank you.
So let me ask you a question now.
Okay.
So, if it is correct
yeah,
that illegal aliens commit less crimes, which of course it's not correct.
that is correct. Look it up. In
but
Texas, they made a study in 2019. 26% are
is
lower.
any crime? It's just not correct. But I'm
That
not going
is
to debate that.
correct.
It's I just proved it at its face because they commit a crime by being here every day. That is a crime.
Okay, once they are here, what kind of crimes are they committing? Which is
Okay. Well,
they're 26%.
Okay. Do you know the name
less.
Laken Riley?
No, educate me.
Oh, you don't.
No.
Do you know? Wow. Do you know the name Rachel Morin?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Wait, educate
Okay.
me. What
So
kind of...
Laken Riley was a girl at the University of Georgia.
Okay.
There was a peeping Tommy, a legal alien, that was deported 5 times prior, and Biden kept on letting him back in. He hunted her down, raped her, sodomized her, and murdered her on a hiking trail, University of Georgia.
Okay, so
Rachel,
one person doesn't represent
hold
all
on a
illegal
second.
immigrants.
Every person who is killed by an illegal alien is one that should not happen. Every single one.
Of course, and also the ones that are
and
native born.
Everyone.
As
And so
well as
that's the
ones who are
point.
native born.
Is that it's not a matter
as well
of the
as people who are
rate.
native born.
The rate. Even if I accept your premise.
Excuse me.
Which is incorrect. The rate is irrelevant. The number is what's relevant. There should be 0 illegal aliens. There should be 0 Americans being killed by illegals.
So, okay.
Not to mention there's 6 other problems with the illegal aliens. They steal Social Security numbers. They depress wages. They are heavily involved. By the way, not to mention, a lot of people that cross on the southern border are also smuggling girls, weapons, and drugs alongside the southern border when they come. It's the largest slavery operation in American history that many illegal aliens help make possible on the southern border. And I guess the final question I'll have is, should a government serve its citizens first and foremost?
Yeah, of course. Well, okay, there's been many people who are like very political leaders who have said that this place is built off of immigrants.
Oh, is it? Wait, hold on. Let's think about that.
Sure.
First of all, it's legal, not illegal. But was America founded by immigrants or settlers?
Settlers.
That's not an immigrant.
Yeah. Okay.
An
Well, that's not
immigrant
my
is-
point. My point is that
Just
people
brought
who-
up the nation built by immigrants.
Yeah,
We're actually not.
because the political leaders have said that this place is built.
Yeah, and they're
from
wrong.
They're wrong. Political
yes.
leaders are wrong. George
Yes.
W. Bush is wrong. All these political leaders who have built
yes.
America.
By the way, the
wrong.
first person to say that was.
How is that wrong? When illegal
'cause
immigrants they grow the economy.
Okay,
Statistically,
allow me
studies.
allow me to build it out for you.
Sure.
Immigrants have helped at times in American history, but we are first and foremost a nation founded by settlers. Immigrants come to a country already built. Settlers come to a barren place and build something new.
Right.
This land was barren when people came. In the 1840s gold rush, this was not an easy place to live.
Yeah.
California was not exactly industrialized. There was not immigrants coming west to California. Those were settlers building a new place around, Western values. Finally, I would just ask the question, do you see a moral distinction between a legal immigrant and an illegal immigrant?
Well, the argument is that they're cutting in line. Like their argument is that they're cutting in line in the 20-year process that it would take for someone to cross illegally.
It's not 20, but yeah.
At most it's 20. At most it's 20. Right now there's around like 1.2 million people who are currently waiting that would take 6 to 7 years for a hearing.
And by the way, no one has a right to come to this country,
Of
just to
course-
be
wait,
clear.
let me stay on track of what I was gonna say. Okay, so people who come here usually, almost all the time when they come here, they benefit society. They benefit society. There's studies that have done this.
Not necessarily.
Okay, not necessarily, but overall in general.
But no,
when you look overall
I
in general, you look at the
fundamentally disagree with that.
You can't
I mean,
disagree with a fact.
Hold on. Do you think Ilhan Omar has enriched the United States of America?
Sounds like Ojo time. Feel the fun with bingo from just 1p, money back on every game, and with no wagering requirements, what you win is yours to keep. Funk it.
Feel the fun. Play Ojo.
I don't know who.
Do you think Rashida Tlaib? I mean, I could go through person by person by person.
So I don't know these people. Are these people who have are illegal immigrants that have caused harm?
Yeah. If you don't know, I don't mean to pick on you. It's fine.
Okay.
But I guess the final question is:
Sure.
Do you have any concern that there are too many people coming into this country and we're a nation of strangers, not a nation of neighbors?
If the people who are coming are creating America, making it more growing, like the economy is growing, then what harm is that doing? Especially if the people who are coming
are not an economy, though, aren't we? We're a culture. We're a language.
Yeah,
we're
of course.
people.
Okay, so let's talk about that front. When they come here, they don't have any kind of. They're not committing as more crimes than the people who are already here.
Again,
that is a statistic.
We've already
done.
dispelled that, but
That is not. You can't dispel a statistic.
Let's
What are you
take California.
talking about?
You can't. Do you think there's anything wrong that a majority of young people in California speak Spanish, not English?
Is there? Wait, sorry. Can you see the?
Do you think there's anything wrong or troubling to the fact that a majority of people under the age of 30 here in this state speak Spanish, not English? Is there a problem with that?
Well, yeah. Everyone should be able to have a ability to communicate with the rest of the crowd. So I don't know what the big issue of that.
See, I think it's a huge problem when we have a nation where you can't communicate with your fellow neighbor.
Simple solution. Teach them how to speak English. What is your point?
And our schools don't do that, actually. And also, have a better solution.
Yeah.
Don't import a bunch of people that don't speak English.
You mean importing people who actually grow the economy?
Well,
who
again,
don't
reject. I reject your premise.
That's not a premise. That's a study that's been done.
Do you know what a premise is? I don't actually care as much about economic growth because we're one nation under. We're one nation under GDP. We're not one nation under GDP. We're a nation under God.
Yeah.
And when we lose social cohesion, and you import a bunch of people that don't share our values, that don't necessarily always assimilate, that's a major and serious problem. And we are a people first and foremost with a creed, and that creed is falling apart. Mass migration has not helped that creed. Yes, they might buy more trinkets. They might help depress wages. Mass migration, of course, can help.
All good things, all great things for America.
They help major corporations, but you know what they also do? They keep down the wages of working people. If you are a plumber, yes, of course. If you think about it, if you're a plumber, electrician, or a welder, and you have to compete against someone from Nicaragua who's willing to do it for $5 less an hour, that depresses the wages of the American citizen.
Right. Yeah. So there's been studies that have done that also counteract that. Illegal immigrants.
Well, let's use our reason.
Let's use our reason. Our studies.
Let's use our reason.
How about statistics?
How about our reason? So we've had mass migration for 20 years. Have wages gone up?
I don't know.
No, they haven't actually.
Yeah, okay.
So forget your studies. For 10 years we've had 30 million people come into America. Wages have gone down dramatically.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason why.
Okay.
So what I encourage you to do, just because there's a study that confirms, you should use your reason and look actually at self-evident truths. Be like, does that make sense? Can you name
statistics are self-evident?
Well,
truths.
not always. Statistics are very misleading. Yes. Like, for example, I could say, did you know that 600 people a year die because of seatbelts? Well, that's a misleading statistic because over 100,000 lives are saved by seatbelts. That's an incomplete statistic.
Wait, okay, so where's so that's a gray area. So where's the gray area where people are talking about where 26% of illegal immigrants who come here commit less crimes than native born?
Okay, how many times have you been over this? That's just not correct.
Well,
it's
that
not
is
true.
Correct. That is correct.
Every single crime. It doesn't matter about the rate.
This is a study that was done in Texas, the most diverse, second most diverse state.
Every crime an illegal commits is one that should never have happened.
Okay.
It is a period.
Yeah, of course,
they should not be here. So I don't care about the rate. The rate is irrelevant. So let me just ask one final question.
The rate is relevant.
Someone broke into the country and cut in line. What should happen to them?
Well, they're given. Ideally, there's a system. Ideally, there's a system that's merit-based, where these people then become part of the citizen. Like they become a legal citizen.
Yeah, I mean, we have clarity but not agreement. I say deport them all back to their country of origin and put Americans first.
That's not an appropriate solution.
Well, the
no.
American people voted for it, and it is appropriate.
It isn't appropriate because most of the people that do come here illegally contribute positively to society. Dude. Statistically, everything backs this.
You're not listening to anything I'm saying, and that's fine. They take jobs from Americans. They depress wages. They steal Social Security numbers. They commit a crime every single day that they're here. They flood our public schools. They flood our social services. They flood our hospitals. They are a burden on the taxpayer. They should go back and make their own country great again and apply and become a legal immigrant if they want to live here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next question, yeah. Hi. Wow, that's aggressive.
All right.
Okay, jeez.
Perfect.
Get that guy a Valium or something. Xanax. Jeez.
Good. All right. Good morning. So I am conservative, but there is one thing that I did want to debate you on. So you say that college is a scam and that so many students go hundreds of thousands in debt and useless degrees. I completely agree with that. My question is, why is it on the institutions and colleges and not on the students, since we as conservatives always focus on personal responsibility? When a quick
That's a great question. Yeah, it should also be on the students as well.
All right. Is there any thing about the universities and the universities should be doing then, since it is a capitalist society and they are trying to get profits?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I don't know what the endowment is here, but I think that the endowment should be used to help repay kids' student loans that they scammed. I think the fact that Harvard is sitting on $55 billion, I think that we should take the endowment money from places like Harvard, Princeton, and Yale and help kids pay off their student loans because they've been so severely scammed by the system.
And what can students do? I mean, there's Google, there's tons of things that I think personal responsibility is a huge issue that a lot of students that I know are blaming it on the universities when they pick degrees that don't have much money or job opportunity or things like that. What should students be doing?
Say that again? Sorry.
What should students be doing since it is a personal responsibility? And a lot of students are blaming the universities and colleges for tricking them when a quick Google search would suffice.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, again, that's why I don't think as many people should be going to college.
Yeah,
and so, yeah.
All right, thank you.
I'll sign your hat. Thank you. Yep. All right, disagreements, you guys can come up. Yep.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes. You can get any combos you want. Bold and bright, minimalist and sleek, or something you didn't even think of. Just describe the vibe you want, or even use the colors of your logo, and let AI do its thing. Beautiful. Next up is the AI section creator. This is great for those website essentials, like a contact section, or a place to subscribe. Now, I'm running a sale, so I punch in some details, and just like that, I have a promo section. Functional and beautiful. I love it. Now, for the AI text creator, I got some products that need description. So I type in some keywords, and there it is. I've got copy that lands. Now, let's see what the AI image creator can do. Sometimes you just want to spice up your visual game. Type your idea and watch it turn into a high-quality image in seconds. You can have some real fun with this. If you need to tweak something, just brush it over, write what you want, and there it is. I may not be an artist, but that's art. If you're ready to build something you love, head to Wix.
Yes. If you guys disagree, come on to the front. Come on.
Hi, Charlie. Thank you so much for coming here. I think it's really good that you come to campuses and talk to people who disagree with you. I also think it's like a testament, like you've like gotten a really big following, and it's a testament to the fact that capitalism works and merit-based societies work, that we can actually grow our influence. And yeah, so I agree with you with a lot of things, but I do disagree with you with like 2 or 3 particular points. And I hope to like go touch on all of them. Firstly, it's about morality and the fact that your claim that objective morality exists. I disagree with that. I think morality is relative for everyone or subjective, and it kind of like grows as with the culture and as the culture changes. So yeah, what are your thoughts about that, and how do you justify objective morality?
Do you believe in absolute truth?
What do you mean by absolute truth?
Absolute truth, like that there is truth absolute for all people.
Yes.
You do? Okay, that's objective morality.
That's objective facts. I won't say that's morality.
Okay, so do I have permission to ask you a provocative question?
Sure.
Was,
I know what you're going to ask.
okay, fine. I mean, was Hitler objectively wrong?
No. So, I do... So
was the Holocaust objectively evil?
I want to like make a distinction between like my personal views that I do feel that it is wrong, but I can't say that it is like objectively wrong because I don't believe that objective morality exists. Like can I ask you like why do you think objective morality exists, and how do you like ground that objective morality in?
Well, first, of course, we believe that the Lord of the heavens and the earth gave us that objective reality through revelation.
Okay.
But secondly, we believe it's written on the heart of every human. You know, in Nuremberg, it's very interesting. When they did the Nuremberg trials, and the Nazis basically said, well, in our country it was right, therefore it's right. Do you know that in Nuremberg they rejected that? They said, no, every human being knows that killing 6 million, babies and kids is wrong. And so do you think there's anything built into us of a moral compass that prevents us from doing evil and we have to try to stifle it?
I think there are moral intuitions that everyone has, but again, like those moral intuitions can differ from person to person, right? Like I might say that, like I don't know, like doing something is wrong, but like someone else might say, oh, it's fine in this situation. So like, how do you distinguish? Like, so it's obviously subjective, right? Like everyone might have their own opinions on what is right and what is wrong. So how do you how do you make a framework that says that, like, these are the rules of what is right and what is wrong, and like how do you ground
the
that?
more important question is, do you believe in God? Which I guess you do not.
I'm agnostic. Like,
yeah, okay, so that's where, okay, so if you don't believe in, this actually, what's your name? Sorry.
Abhinav.
Yeah, well, you're making a great argument. And your argument is totally correct, which is that if you don't believe in God, then you cannot say that the Holocaust was wrong. In order to believe that, in order to believe something is objectively wrong, you must believe in God. Because if you believe in God, then you believe that there's a transcendent moral order that is over all of us. And you're proving that point, and it's not even a criticism. You are being consistent.
Okay.
And to your point, which is that, so we believe that there is a God that has rules for life. We believe that was given to Moses primarily at Mount Sinai. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery. And that every society and every culture lives under that natural law. And so, but it's very interesting that if we get away from the idea of a belief in God and the transcendent, you can see how dangerous that is for society, right?
Bet Victor. New customers can get £30 in bonuses and 30 free spins when you wager £10. Place your best bet at Bet Victor.
I wouldn't say it's dangerous because it really depends on what the morals the society adopts and like what their constitution is, what their values are. I don't know why that needs to be grounded in religion.
Well, so let me ask, okay, so would you say that murder is bad? Yes?
I would say that.
By
yeah.
what standard do you measure bad?
I would say that like it's based on my environment, how I was raised, like what my cultural beliefs are. Like how everyone else, like morality has influenced my morality. So it's like, I believe that it's Like, for example, like I think you brought this up in some other debate that like some tribes might are okay with child sacrifice or cannibalism or things like that, right? So for them that is okay. For me, it's not, right? It really depends on what society we grow up in, I think.
Yeah. So child sacrifice is not something you think that is objectively wrong.
I'm just trying to understand how do I
Let's
ground
pay attention up here,
objective?
guys. Thanks.
How do we ground what is objective? And also you brought up a point that like if you do believe in God, then we do have objective morality, right? And you obviously believe in Christianity. But my point is like if, for example, a different religion has different morals, how do you determine which one is objective? Because both will think that it's objective, right? So how do you make that determination?
It's a great question. Well, first you have to look at, there's just a side show going on here. You have to look at the proof and the fruit of which that moral system has delivered.
Okay.
And so, are you from India? I don't mean to.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm from Delhi.
Can I ask you a provocative question? I don't mean to offend you by any way, but
Sure.
do you think that the moral system of India or the moral system of America, which is better?
What do you mean by moral system? Like, can
Caste
you give me
system.
Yeah, I disagree with the caste system.
Got it. So you disagree with it, but is there something objectively evil and wrong with saying that 200 million people are permanently in poverty?
Again, I want to ask you, like, how do we ground objectivity? Like, what, like, for example, for scientific theories, like, we can, like, conduct experiments and say, okay, it's objectively true. But, like, for morality, like, it depends person to, like, for example, people living in India at that time, for them, it might have been okay, right? So, like, how do we ground the objectivity, like...
You have to believe in God. You have to believe in a power, more specifically, a monotheistic one.
Okay, why is that?
Well, because if you have many gods, polytheism, you have many moralities.
Mm-hmm.
And if one God, one morality. So that's why ethical monotheism founded America. And so, of course, it's a faith claim in some ways, but we can use science also to get us pretty close to believing in God, from space, time, and matter, from the teleological argument for God, for how all the fine-tuning of our universe exists. But then in order, once you believe in a God, then you can then say there's an objective morality. If you don't believe in God, your position is correct. It's all just context.
I do disagree with one thing that, like, because there are multiple religions, right? Multiple monotheistic religions. So how do you determine which monotheistic religion is true?
So, well, why is mine true? Because because the resurrection is the most documented, followed, and proven fact of history. Of all the different things, is that the resurrection of Jesus Christ is by far the most compelling event in human history besides the creation of the world. Is that we know Jesus existed, we know that he was killed, we have extra biblical sources that prove it, from Josephus, from the Talmud, to the historians of the day, and there are so many facts surrounding the resurrection that cannot be explained other than that Jesus actually rose from the dead. From why use female witnesses, we know that he was in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, we know that the tomb was empty. Where did Jesus' body go? For example, if you wanted to disprove Christianity, why didn't they just march through the streets with Jesus' corpse and say, nope, actually he is not risen from the dead, here he is right now. From all these different elements, we stake all of our chips as Christians into the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Amongst many other things, that the Bible is materially true every time that we do an archaeological discovery in the Middle East. The more that we discover, the more that we search in the Middle East, the more we find out that the Bible is true.
Okay, so your belief is basically based on the truth value of Christianity, basically, right? And like the fact that like you believe that your religion is true, and therefore that's where you derive your morality from, right?
Partially, yes,
Okay.
but even before that, you don't have to believe in the resurrection to believe in God.
Okay.
You can believe in God and not believe in the resurrection.
So
but
if
you
I-
asked me why I believe in Christianity.
So, for example, there are a lot of arguments, for example, the cosmological argument or teleological argument that you mentioned, which do not really do not refer to like a particular God, right? It just refers to God in general.
Correct.
So
And-
how do you derive morality from just the existence of God without associating it with a particular religion?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So you can use reason that if there is a God, then God would want us to live a certain way. And which way is best, which way is most efficacious. This is not my argument for it, but this would be a more deistic morality
Okay.
that some of the founding fathers had, that if there is a God, well then he probably wouldn't want us to screw up this place too much. He wouldn't want us to hurt each other, right? You can use your reason to get to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's not a perfect fit. The Christian answer is a far better one, right? And a lot of what we consider to be correct moral thinking is rooted from a belief in objective morality.
That's fine, but like then you would have to contend with things like the problem of evil, right? Because that would be like a problem, right? Because like, for example, the Christian theistic, like the God is like all good, right? But
yes, but sorry to interrupt, but atheists have a problem of evil too.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what the problem of evil
What
is
is
for the
that?
atheists? They can't tell us what evil is.
Copilot, help me tailor my pitch to a more casual tech client. Translated into Spanish. Your technology drives business. Que nunca se detenga.
Muy bien.
Gracias.
University? You're far too busy with all this.
Silence your critic. Study online in your own time. Search Arden University to learn more.
that is
Right?
true. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So we have a problem of evil, which is to explain evil. We struggle with that. Atheists have a problem with evil, which is they can't tell us what is evil or good.
But that's because they don't believe in objective.
Exactly. So, but that's a bigger problem. So they can't even use the problem of evil against us because what definition do they consider something evil? They can use a problem of suffering
Yeah.
because suffering is objectively measured, right? Pain or struggle. So yeah, I mean, look, the problem of evil, I don't have a great answer. I'm not going to like give an answer that no one's ever given. Evil actually, you could argue, is an absence of a good thing. Evil itself does not necessarily exist. It's just the absence of good, the same way that dark is the absence of life. But look, we as Christians, we have a couple things that are very hard to answer, right? Problem of evil and like why kids die. I mean, amongst many other things, right? Atheists have to explain everything else. They have to explain why we're here, how the earth was created, love, mercy, justice, forgiveness, everlasting life. And so we do have an answer in the Christian faith that God uses all things for good for those who loves him. God works in mysterious ways is the old thing that we say. But also we also believe in original sin. But all of that actually appeals that there is a transcendent good. Evil itself does not disprove God. It might question what you think of God and the nature of God, but itself does not necessarily disprove it.
Okay, thank you. I did have like one more point.
Yeah, and then we'll get to the next question. Very good though. Yeah.
Very quickly, like you mentioned that the previous person also talked about, you believe that like university is a scam, right? I just wanted to like ask you specifically, like what aspects do you think are a scam? Like, do you think all majors are a scam, all universities are a scam?
Not necessarily, but I mean, half the kids in this audience, if they get a job, they'll end up getting a job that does not require a college degree. So and I mean, you think about that. I mean, by the way, the national graduation rate's only 59%. 41% of people that enter college do not graduate. So
I do agree with you that the tuition part of it can like nowadays, like on the internet you can find almost any information. Yep. I do believe that like the utility of universities is the networking that you can do with peers as well as like industry professionals, and also the resources that universities provide, especially for the STEM subjects. And I wanted to ask you, like, since you...
Really quick, yep.
Yeah, last question. I wanted to ask you, like, since you did not, like, go to university and, like, you built this entire big organization yourself, how did you tackle those networking challenges, and, like, how did you, like, step by step build up to this?
Phenomenal question. You find somebody you want to go meet, and you go find them. You don't need to go to college to meet important people. You literally can be like, okay, what do I want to do? Who's the best person in my local area? Find out what charities are involved. Call their office. Show up at their office. You'd be amazed at how many people are willing to work with you and meet you, but you don't need to necessarily go to college to be able to do that networking opportunity. Thank you so much. Very good. Do you want a hat? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Excellent questions. Very thoughtful, my friend. Thank you. That's how it should be. Give it up for him. That was really good, everybody. All right, next question.
All right. So I would like to ask you about for abortions, right? How do we explain to those who are for it? How do we explain that even, I don't know if you believe this or not, but in terms of like a rape or unintentional or really unconsented pregnancies, can we say that we should still be anti-abortion in that scenario?
Yes.
what's your grounds for that? And how would I explain it to someone else?
Sure, it's a good question. Let's say I have 2 ultrasounds here. One is an ultrasound of a baby from a loving marriage. The other one is a baby conceived in rape. Which one is which?
We can't exactly tell.
So they're both human beings?
Right.
They both deserve human rights.
Okay. But then what is if someone pushes back against with the idea... Do I...
Closer, yeah.
Oh. What is if someone pushes back with the idea that now, in terms of the mother, right, one of them was willingly conceived while the other one was a forced conceived?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair argument. The question then should be, when, if ever, in your moral universe, is it okay to do something evil after an evil act to try to make that evil act correct?
But how about in terms of, what if we're in the position of the mother, and she is, I don't want to take the risk of illness, death, or whatever to have this child.
Sure, so it's a little bit of a false choice because they're acting as if the termination of the pregnancy will have no consequences or costs. A lot of women that get abortions have regret. Women die when they get abortions. They have a lot of their health issues. It's not just like getting a haircut. So it's a little bit of a false choice. But we come after it from a very basic moral argument. There are 2 lives involved. There's a little life and a grown life. And no one has the right to eliminate a human life in utero, period.
So then, at that point, now we're forcing someone to do something that they never consented to, never wanted to do. How isn't this violating their human autonomy?
Well, again, but eliminating the human being would also violate the baby's autonomy too, wouldn't it?
Well, then we would have to ask, right? Maybe in future years we will have the technology to be able to extract a fetus and grow a fetus outside of the uterus, but given our state of medicine right now, we do not have that.
Sure. I mean, but again, no one is delighting or rejoicing in these circumstances. I mean, it's a terrible situation. I want to reiterate that. But you have a unspeakably difficult choice that is very morally, clear though, which is that you don't eliminate a human being because an awful action happened.
Are you saying that as someone who can get... Well, I guess my pushback against that would be then if we say that it's entirely wrong, right? We're sacrificing someone's choice for someone's life, which is admirable, but...
It's also morally correct. You don't get to murder someone smaller than you if it makes your life difficult.
But then we can't exactly... See, the fetus does not have autonomy. It cannot exist outside of the uterus quite yet.
Human dignity does not correlate with dependency. So dignity and dependency are not 2 things corrected. You have human dignity because you're a human being, not because how dependent you are.
So...
You're streaming? We have the designs to make your stream look awesome. Owned.tv is the largest streamer shop worldwide. We offer branding packages with everything you need. With our do-it-yourself tools, you can easily create designs and choose from millions of possibilities. Get started and set up your stream with our free setup guides right away. That sound good so far? It gets even better. Talk to our streaming experts until everything works with your new designs. We deliver high-quality products for different tools and platforms at an affordable price. Thousands of satisfied customers are using our products. Upgrade your stream now. Owned TV.
Dreams do come true. I am showering on Netflix.
would you say that viability happens when...
Viability is irrelevant.
So then, at what point does human life begin then?
Conception.
Conception, not even sperm or
That's conception.
eggs? Okay.
That's conception. That's
Well, I
when
just wanted to get
when an
that
egg is
base-
fertilized. When an egg is fertilized, human life begins.
Okay, so then when it's still a single cell with both chromosomes pairings, right?
Well, it creates new DNA, right? So once the sperm and egg meet, literally something magical and inexplicable happens, where new DNA is formed.
Okay, and then what happens? So then
it attaches to the uterine wall, and I can go through the whole
Yeah,
gestational process. But.
All right, so then we have the basis of human life. Now, what is if within the uterus, now that life is still alive, but is unable to proceed to, like, let's say, actual birth due to some medical situation that has happened?
Well, has the baby died without outside intervention or with outside intervention?
Let's say that
is it an ectopic pregnancy, or what? You got to be very clear about the type of.
The amniotic sac has
ruptured. That's an ectopic pregnancy, right? So yeah, you can remove the baby from that situation without aborting it. The baby will die outside of the womb, but you do not have to abort it. So those are two different things. The removal of a baby is what's called a cesarean section. You can do that very early on. Now, ectopic pregnancy is very real. It's very terrible, but you can solve an ectopic pregnancy outside of having an abortion.
But, okay, so then what creates an abortion? Is it the heartbeat, the removal of the fetus? What exactly is that?
I don't want to go too deep in this. Do you know what happens in an abortion? I mean, maybe you don't. They literally will break the back of the baby's skull, right? They will insert to the back a syringe of cyanide poisoning until the baby no longer... I mean, this is one of the most gruesome things. Everyone who's pro-choice, in my opinion, has a moral obligation to watch a video of an abortion just to know kind of what you're supporting. It's so beyond inexplicable. But yeah, look, really quick, what's the final question on this? Because I want to keep moving.
Oh, sure. So you didn't really finish the question of when can we do that procedure, right? If there's still a heartbeat...
I don't think we should ever do that procedure.
What happens if, like, now the mother's life is going to die in, like, the next 15 minutes, but the baby is still having a heartbeat? What do we do at that point?
It depends on, again, I don't want to speak to every specific. Some OBGYNs say abortion is never medically necessary. I'm not a professional enough to say that. But it depends how far advanced the woman is. If she's past 22 weeks, have a cesarean section. Try to have the baby live in NICU.
So there are situations where abortions are okay, right?
Well, no, I'm not even saying okay. Again, I don't know enough about some OBGYNs that they can defend their statement here. They will say abortion is never medically necessary. I'll allow them to defend that. I don't know enough about the details there to be able to say that.
So you're saying that you do not have a statement of whether abortions can never be true or always?
It is murder. Whether or not an OBGYN can prove to me, of which there's a lot of debate, it is ever medically necessary. So take, for example, if a baby is 26 weeks and the baby's the mom's life is in danger, deliver the baby by C-section. Don't terminate the baby. Does that make sense?
Yes, I see.
The baby can survive outside of the womb.
Okay, at that point, yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next question.
Hi, Charlie. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Good to go. Thank you. Let's start off by laying some things that I think you and I would both agree on first. I'm sure you like our Constitution. I'm sure you're a big fan of our Bill of Rights, the habeas corpus, inclusion in the before even the Bill of Rights in the Constitution itself. When we look at the current league of deportations that's happening, particularly when it predates to Kilmar Abrego Garcia, right? He is a man who hasn't had his due process. He never had his day in court.
That's not true. You know that he spent 4 years in court from 2017 to 2021. In fact, so much so that the judge even ruled on his immigration status, saying that he could be deported at any time for any reason.
That court order actually lapsed, so it wasn't valid at the time of his deportation. If we want to go through these, we need people to have their habeas corpus rights. We need people to have the ability to show up in court and actually exemplify their have their case be heard in front of a judge, be heard by a jury of their peers, and have a chance to be.
Okay, but again, I've done this so many times. Let me just pause, and I don't mean to pick on you. How hard the left is fighting for this MS-13 scumbag is just remarkable to me. It's like I'm not trying to pick on you. Let me make a broad statement.
The worst person in the world. He could be an absolute scumbag.
Is he a U.S. citizen?
No.
Oh, that actually changes things.
It does, absolutely.
And so,
but it does not change.
Due process? Yes, it does. The Alien Enemies Act says you do. That's not correct.
Okay.
The Alien Enemies Act says you do not have to give due process to those that you are deporting. It is not correct. So they invoked the Alien Enemies Act.
What does it take to invoke that act?
And signature from the President of the United States to say that you are being invaded by a foreign power or assisted by a certain force on enemy ground.
Correct.
He was part of MS-13, which is a paramilitary arm of the Venezuelan government.
So, but in order to enact that act, don't we need a war declaration?
Oh, yeah. No, that's what he did on day one. He said that we're being invaded.
Does he have that power? I
Yes.
thought that was a congressionally approved
No,
thing.
that's not correct. The President of the United States has an ability within a 90-day emergency clause window to say that we are being invaded by a special power. It's called the War Powers Act of 1990-something. The War Powers Act gives the President the authority for 90 to 100 days to declare that we are being invaded. And we have been invaded, by the way, by MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. It's a material fact.
Considering, one of the things that's super important when we consider law is the spirit of the law. And do we really believe that these laws were enacted with the spirit in mind of gangs being associated as arms of a state?
Potentially.
MS-13 and Tren de Aragua are not Venezuelan arms. They're not.
No, MS-13 is. That's not correct. But let me throw it back at you. MS-13 is El Salvadorian and also Venezuela. Yeah, Tren de Aragua is Venezuela. MS-13 is El Salvadorian. He signed Declaration of Invasions against both. But let me challenge you on this, because you're coming after this in good faith. Was the First Amendment written in the spirit of Facebook posts?
Can you clarify a little bit?
The First Amendment, part of the Bill of Rights, ratified in 1791, was it written in the spirit that it shall apply to tweets?
Not to private corporations.
Bet Victor. New customers can get £30 in bonuses and 30 free spins when you wager £10. Take a spin on exclusive games, timeless classics, and play all the biggest hits all in one place. Place your best bet at BetVictor.
Well, no. Meaning, like, do your free speech rights apply also to the internet?
So it applies to public squares. The question that we're having now is Facebook a public square? Are Twitter public squares?
It's a separate issue. The issue is that we would all agree that you have a First Amendment right to express yourself, and the government can't throw you in prison regardless of where you have it. Whether you write a newspaper op-ed or whether you do a Facebook post, right? You have a First Amendment right to do that. The point being is you say, well, the spirit of the law in 1798, it doesn't matter if a law is old. It matters what moral claim is the law trying to make, because times sort of change, but people do not. Human nature goes unchanged. And so the point being is the Alien Enemies Act has been invoked 4 times in our nation's history. War of 1812, Civil War, World War I, World War II. And I believe totally appropriately invoked here. It's been enjoined by the Supreme Court right now, so we'll find out its future. But when you have 15 million people come into your country in a span of 4 years, that is definitionally an invasion.
I guess an invasion requires a certain commitment from a state, right? It's a big difference between an invasion and an immigration wave is whether there's a state operating.
Or a force. The cartels, man. The cartels operate like a state. The cartels are the reason that a lot of these people are able to make it up to the border. They pay money to the cartels. The cartels are using drones. They're using speedboats. They're using helicopters. The cartels act like a government. In fact, the cartels run the Mexican government. The Sinaloa drug cartel is more powerful than the Mexican Mexican government.
I would agree with labeling these terrorist organizations. I think they have the funding, they operate, they have such. But there's a key distinction between a government entity and a terrorist organization.
Hold on a second. We declared war on Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
What government was Al Qaeda?
We can declare war on terrorist organizations.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. So, if we signed the Alien Enemies Act against Al Qaeda, it would have been perfectly fair and appropriate, obviously. And Al Qaeda is not a government. What I'm saying, though, is that the cartels, the MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, they are being supported by governments. They're harbored in governments. The Alien Enemies Act, of course, applies to them. These are enemies here on the mainland of America doing harm. And Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13. He was a wife beater, a child abuser, here illegally. He had a deportation notice on his head, and now he's back in his country of El Salvador, and we should be happy that he's home.
So, I can grant you that he might be all these things. It does not mean that he doesn't get a day in court.
But as a non-U.S. citizen, though, the Alien Enemies Act allow us to expeditiously remove him. It's just the way it works. I mean,
No, you're right, but
and now that's not the
we
case.
can
The Supreme
argue
Court's
whether that was a correct invocation, right? That's
but
where
that's
our
irrelevant. The
disagreement
Supreme
is.
Court has now said no more, so there will be no more. But in that specific case, nothing was done illegally. The only argument you might have is that the judge says you could deport him anywhere except El Salvador. So we probably should have just deported him to, I don't know, the Congo, and everyone would have been happier. Hilariously, they said, oh, he's in a foreign jail. No, he's not in a foreign jail. He's an El Salvadorian in his own country. He's not an American. If he would have went to Gitmo, that would have been a foreign jail.
Yeah. Okay. And then, let's see.
Thank
I
you.
think that's it for me. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Could I ask you for a red hat?
Yes,
signed?
absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Great question. Yes, sir.
All right. Hi, Charlie. My name's Gabriel, and I'm a senior in high school. And I want to tell you this. I don't know much about this topic, so I'm here more to learn, but I also want to provide a point of view. So I wanted to speak about Trump's tariff policy. So since January 2025, Trump has had one of the worst presidential terms concerning the economy. And there are statistics to back this up. S&P has dropped 8%, Dow Jones has dropped 7%, the Russell has dropped 12%. The way I understand it, tariffs are a tax that are passed on to consumers. They impede upon the world free trade and increase the cost of imported goods. This not only has tanked our economy, but is actually putting small businesses across America out of work. Middle-class Americans that voted for Trump believing prices would drop are now having to close down their small business because they used to rely on outsourcing. Now, I understand that Trump's goal with this tariff policy is to bring back jobs to America. However, this is an unrealistic reality. Even though some corporations are moving production to the U.S. to avoid tariff, in reality, most would rather pass the cost on to consumers than financially pay billions of dollars in building new plants in America and paying higher wages. With all of this, I wanted to ask you if you could please defend Trump's tariff plan.
Sure. Great. First of all, the market's recovering, but you're right, it has gone down. The market is not necessarily a good indicator of the economy. We have an economy, and then we have a market. Half of Americans don't own any stocks, just for the record.
Okay.
And that's a very important thing, right?
There's a lot of Americans that have money in stocks and
No,
are
of course they
losing
do.
money every day.
Well, actually, okay, you're in high school, so I'm just going to be super gentle. The market's been up the last couple days, right? Markets go up, markets go down.
Okay.
The more important question, though, is what type of economy is going to survive the next 40 or 50 years? When we do not make our own vitamin C, we don't make our own antibiotics, we don't make our own drone parts, and it's all made in China, we should try to re-domicile it. It's tempting to blame this all on tariffs, but there's actually no tariffs that are in place right now. You know that, right?
There's still a 10% baseline tariff, and even though there's a 90-day pause, they're going to come back. That's the reality.
You know that better than I do, right? Yeah.
Well, I know that. That's a fact.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
There's a 90-day pause on tariffs.
So again, I'm trying to be super, you're in high school, it's fine. You know Trump's talking to South Korea and Japan and Vietnam.
Okay.
We're going to get massive deals with India, and we're going to fix the trade imbalances. And here's the core of it. Can we at least agree that Trump ran on the idea of tariffs?
He did.
And people voted for it?
Yes.
Should elected leaders do what people vote for them to do?
Yes, but I agree that he's doing what he said he would do. What I'm asking you is how can you defend what he's doing? Because what would you say to the middle class American that has a small business that now has to shut down their business because they used to outsource to China and now they can't pay due to the high tariffs? That's my question.
They were outsourcing to China?
Well, even though some small businesses don't outsource, they get a lot of their production from big companies that do make their products foreign. And so now those prices are being jacked up and small businesses are running out of customers because they're having to pass the cost on to the
I see
consumer.
no evidence of that happening, and I believe, first of all...
what is the definition of a tariff?
Well, the tariff is a duty on an imported product. How do you avoid a tariff?
You move to the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. So wait, hold on a second.
Are most companies moving to the U.S.?
Actually, yes. You know there's over $6 trillion in investments announced in the last 2 weeks in the United States of America?
Yeah.
$6 trillion.
But what happens in the U.S.? You get higher wages. Where does that cost go? businesses aren't going to just pay that cost. They
No,
pass
are.
that cost on to the
Toyota,
consumers.
Honda, Stellantis, NVIDIA did a $500 billion investment.
Yeah,
Oracle,
NVIDIA is down
data
like
centers.
20% in the last 3 months.
Right, again, so I'm going to try to be very gentle with this. Stock prices are not always a reflection of reality. That is an inflection of investors' skittishness, right? So if NVIDIA is down 20%, they might have been hyperinflated a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Let me just kind of close with this. Do we both agree we should make more stuff in America?
I agree in certain cases, yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think with critical manufacturing, critical industry, we have massive trade imbalances with these countries. The president is going to actually say you have to buy more of our product, buy more of our liquefied natural gas. And I believe coupled with that small business that you talked about, they're about to receive the largest tax cut in American history. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and a massive middle-class tax.
But if we can produce goods foreignly for less money, why are we moving it back to the U.S.? And my other point is...
Because less money is not the most important
By
thing.
moving it back to the U.S., what are you, making more factory jobs? We're moving into a time where tariffs are behind us. Factory jobs are behind us.
Wrong.
Soon AI is going to take over these factory jobs.
And this is where you're totally wrong, man. We have 11 million manufacturing jobs that we need to fill in the next 5 years that don't require college degrees. Advanced manufacturing jobs, highly precise. Who's going to build all the robots? Who's going to build the drones? There's insane amount of hardware infrastructure that needs to happen. Factory jobs are not behind us. In fact, we have more hardware needs now in 2025 than we even had in 1985. So thank you for your time.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Joe, and I don't know that much about you. I'm gonna be honest, but you're like this conservative like Trump supporter, dude. Okay. And you'd consider yourself a Christian? How do you consider yourself like a serious Christian if you support Trump after he raped Jean Carroll?
So you believe he raped her?
Yes.
Really? Was he criminally indicted for that?
I believe he was.
No, he
guilty
wasn't.
For sexual abuse.
No, he wasn't. He was civilly found liable for slander in a slanted Manhattan jury. Tell me, what year was she raped?
Oh, I don't know.
She doesn't know either, actually, when she was asked.
The court found.
No, they did
that
not.
she was
A jury
guilty.
found him liable for smear and slander around this topic. Do you know that E. Jean Carroll said, quote, rape is sexy?
No.
She said that on air on the Anderson Cooper show. E. Jean Carroll says, do you know the facts surrounding the case?
A little bit.
Tell me.
No. No, all right. Okay.
Tell me.
Trump was, I don't know, indicted, found guilty for
wrong.
Sexual abuse over her because he fingered her unconsensually.
He was never ever indicted. He was never that. This was a civil case that was around her. This was around smear and slander and defamation. Again, according to E. Jean Carroll's recollection, she can't remember the year, but she says some afternoon Donald Trump took me into a Tiffany's store at the height of his power, at the height of his popularity, when he was on the front cover of Playboy magazine and decided to go rape E. Jean Carroll. Really, we're supposed to believe that?
I've seen pictures of Donald Trump and Epstein hanging out.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Epstein.
you know he kicked him out of the Mar-a-Lago club. What's the next point?
Because Epstein raped kids and
Yeah.
You have to kick him out if he rapes kids. Like, he can't have that personal.
Like, got it. So what's the contention?
I don't. He raped kids. Trump did.
Trump raped kids?
Yeah. Jean Carroll when she was 13.
She wasn't 13. The accusation was when in her late 20s, not when she was 13.
13.
Your typical liberal, everybody. Give it up for him. Thank you very much.
The government. No, I love it.
Thank you.
Can I have a hat?
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Charlie. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for letting me speak. I'm studying abroad from Italy for this semester. Sorry? Yeah, from Roma. I've seen your videos online and I really respect what you are doing here. I have a question because in Europe we are facing the same problem with illegal immigration. And what are your stance on illegal families who came here many years ago and now are working and paying taxes in your country?
Every person who has come here illegally must be returned to their country of origin.
and I completely agree with you. I'm here to say something. I really like the speech that J.D. Vance did in Munich after the terrorist attack.
Do we like J.D. Vance, everybody? Isn't J.D. great?
Well, I'm not American, but I like him too. If I were American, I would have voted for him. However, in Europe, we are having a big problem with illegal immigration. People are coming, they don't respect our laws, they're raping women, stabbing. It's dangerous to go around. So I don't understand when people come here to talk to you, liberals and Democrats, saying that they want to welcome them, because you don't know who is entering in your country.
Amen. And I'll tell you, we need more legal immigrants like you in this country. I'll tell you what.
And it makes me upset that for me it's difficult. I'm respecting the law. I'm here. If I have to be here legally, I'm gonna go back to Italy because I cannot work. And it makes me upset seeing someone that comes here illegally and does whatever he wants. That's it.
God bless you. You want a hat?
If I can have a white one, because I already have
a white one. All right.
red.
Make Italy great again. Okay. Very good.
I wish. Can I shake your hand? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Charlie. I'm a senior in high school named Trevor, and I want to start off by saying thank you for coming to this beautiful city of San Diego. I just want to get your quick thoughts on two very specific topics. One being the photo of Kilmar Garcia's hand that Trump held up, and him advocating in an interview the other day with Terry Moran about it not being photoshopped in any way. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't photoshopped. It was labeled.
Right, but he didn't say that. He said that the literal letters and numbers MS-13 were on.
No, they are. I mean, I have the picture here.
Yeah, it's photoshopped.
No, it's not. That's called labeling, not
right,
photoshopping.
Right, I agree that he labeled it, but Trump was saying that they were on there. He kept going on and on about it for 2 minutes.
I don't know the point of what you're making. The iconography, I can look it up.
Right.
Literally means MS-13.
I completely agree that those logos were on each of his knuckles. I'm saying that the letters MS and the numbers 13 were not on there, but in the photo that Trump held up, they were, and he advocates that they were, like, on his hand, not that they were labels.
I don't know what you're talking about, but sure. What's your next contention?
Okay, and then I want to just get two things that you disagree with Trump that he's done in his current presidency.
Canada should not be the 51st state.
Okay. Okay.
And I think, not even a disagreement, I think we should have caution to try to go to war with Iran.
Okay.
We should be very careful about bombing the Houthis and getting closer to a war with Iran.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Thank you. You want?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes. Who's up? All right,
How are we doing, Mr. Kirk? Yeah, hi. This is, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm going to be like a debate king here. You know, you have 10 years of experience on me. And I had a quick question, though, about on abortion, if that's okay with you. Right? So I think when we talk about abortion, I think we really get into this idea of like when we should assign personhood, right? So you clearly believe that life begins at conception, and I think it would be better if we shift that metric to a more based on sentience. And I believe that and the question I have for you is that since you believe that life begins at birth, let's say we have a person that's grown to old age and they have died and they have absolutely showing no brain activity at all. Would you believe that shooting that person, that dead person, is the equivalent of like a human life?
Yeah, I mean, it is a human life, but those are two totally separate things. One is no more, and the other one's not yet.
Right.
So not yet is different than no more. If someone's at the end of their life and there's nothing more we can do to continue their life, that is a different moral conversation than someone that has not yet been completely grown as a human as you and I. Two totally different moral circumstances, so you can't conflate the two.
Right. But I think they both have the same problem where it's about the presence of consciousness, right?
No, it's not a problem. One, the consciousness will come. One will not. So they're two separate things. One has potentiality. Yeah. One does not. So you can't conflate the two together.
But okay, let's say let me use a different analogy then. Let's say I have a blueprint to a building, right? And I have the materials for the building, and you destroy those materials. The materials of the building isn't the building in itself. Can we both agree that there's a difference between those two?
Is the building building itself in real time and it's currently being constructed and it's going up?
No, but it still doesn't really matter because they're still adding value to the fact that we're creating the building.
Bad analogy.
Right?
A blueprint.
How's that
because the blueprint not itself is not the building.
Right, exactly.
No,
so
I'm
if
saying,
you were to
human being's DNA is not
we
just
agree
the,
on that though.
No,
that
no,
the
it's
blueprint
not.
is not the building, so there's probably different moral qualifications.
No,
right?
they're not. I'm saying though
Right?
that the baby is the building. So you're incorrect.
Okay, so
The
so-
building is following the blueprint.
So when you're looking at like I don't know, like a fertilized egg, you're telling me a picture of this fertilized egg is the equivalent of a human life
Yes.
right now. No, the
Yes.
exact
What's
same
the
thing.
difference?
The different stage of
No,
development.
so why should stage of development give you more rights?
Well, I mean, we okay. You're acting like this is
No,
not something this is done in society. Like, for example, we do judge based on different stages of development, like in cognitive capabilities, right? I'm not letting a fetus drive a car. A fetus can't
but
drive.
no, hold on. Right to life.
Alcohol and whatnot.
Apply the right to life
Okay,
to your
this
stage
is,
of
this is a
development.
little bit different. So I guess a different question I would have to ask you is like, why I'm assuming your two qualifications here are the fact that like it's a unique cellular organism, right, that has the potential to
and
life,
it's
right?
human, which
And
is
it's human.
inherently has dignity.
So I guess then this brings into question because I know there's another scenario where this occurs, right, where fertilization of an egg occurs, and they're on track to development, correct? And this other example that I'll think of is like animals, right? I think why do we not give the same moral consideration to animals as we are to like zygotes in this
Oh, because
situation?
animals aren't human beings.
Okay, so but why is human beings?
Human beings have a soul and animals do not.
Have a soul. So this is my point,
No,
guys.
soul is not just
is a
consciousness.
conscious
No,
experience.
it's not.
You are
Let me prove it to
engaging
you.
in
Wrong.
This is dishonest though.
Let me prove it to you.
Level
When
of
someone is
consciousness-
quote unquote brain dead, do you know that they still respond if someone stabs them, their norepinephrine goes up? Do you know that a woman still menstruates if she's brain dead? So consciousness is not human worth. There's something else going on beyond consciousness that exists in a being that is the soul.
Okay, so now we're getting into a conversation of what the difference between the soul and a consciousness is. And I
No,
really
they're
think-
totally different. The soul is the something beyond consciousness is your narration to yourself,
Okay.
the ability to reason. There's something above reason. All of us know what that is when it kicks in. You ever hear the expression, words can't describe, I am speechless? You know why? Speech is reason. When you see
Okay.
a sunset that takes your breath away, when you see a newborn life that is born, you don't even have the
Right,
words to
right,
express it
right.
because it transcends your
I
reason.
agree with that.
That is your soul.
So I mean that's a good point. Like when we give, what you just labeled there is like when a child is given born, when they're born, we give such moral significance to that, not the fact that like they got infertilized by an egg. I don't want to celebrate. I want to sort of I'd rather celebrate my birthday rather than like the day my parents had sex. That's kind of a little weird situation. You know what I mean? Like if life begins at conception.
Well, it's called your birthday for a reason,
Right,
but you
'cause
were
I'm born,
you were a
right?
living being, not
It seems that like society
you
kind
were
of
9 months prior. you were-
gravitates to this idea of like an actual human being existing that
Oh,
gives
no,
moral
that's-
value, right?
One is your entrance to the world. The other one
Right.
is the actual creation of your being. Two different
Right.
things. Your birthday is when you entered the world.
Right,
For
right.
example, your birthday could be at 28 weeks, not 36
Okay.
weeks. So everybody has a different day when you exit the womb, but it's
Okay.
not when your worth begins. That's not when your value begins. That's simply when you exit the womb.
Right, right. So I have a good question. I really want to get back to this idea of like you give more moral value to the level of the fact that like that humans that are developed have a soul in comparison to like a zygote that, or actually no, animals
or a
animals, is
coyote.
that- Okay, so is that not the same comparison to like a zygote to a developed human being in the sense that we are a higher functioning conscious being in comparison to like this other thing that we can just actively kill whenever
It doesn't
we want?
matter. I
Why
mean,
does
can
it
you
not matter,
actively
though?
kill a 1-year-old? Doesn't have as much acuity as you do or consciousness.
Right, yeah, but like I mean,
Can
that's
you?
not the,
Can
that's
you
not-
kill a
that's not the-
1-year-old?
That's the same thing because like this is
Of
like going
course
back
it's the
to
same
my
thing.
like
What's the
idea of
difference in a
sentience,
1-year-old
right?
and a 1-day-old zygote? What's the moral difference?
The level of consciousness.
Oh,
right?
so one's bigger. One's more developed. One's
no,
older.
lots more
the
developed. No,
consciousness
no.
is completely
Sure,
irrelevant.
sure.
Because
How is
just
it
you know that
irrelevant?
a 1-day-old out of the womb doesn't have a lot of consciousness at all.
Okay, sure,
It
that's
can't
fine.
speak. It can't really. It's kind of
Right.
like disembobulated.
But that's-
you don't get less rights for that.
No, I agree. I mean, like, well, to a certain degree, I agree with that. But like, there is a meaningful difference between a fertilized egg and a conscious
What is
human
it?
being. One is less conscious than the other.
Oh no, well, one is more skills. But like, what's the innate moral difference? And prove it to me.
Because it seems like we do give restrict rights, and we do actually change rights based on development and consciousness.
No,
and
about
cognitive
life.
experience,
So
right?
like a 4-year-old.
Right.
What is the innate moral difference of a 4-year-old and a zygote?
One is more conscious.
Okay, got it. So I think that's irrelevant. I think they're both human beings deserving of protection. Consciousness alone is not a marker of dignity.
Okay, but so then what is your marker of dignity? Is
Being
that
a
because-
human being.
Being a human being. So is your argument a little bit circular though? There, it's just like it's
No,
just
it's not.
because we deserve rights because we're a human being.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's self-evident. We are human beings with a soul, therefore we have rights.
We deserve rights because we're human beings because we're human beings. So like, how am I supposed to win against this argument here?
You can't.
See, Okay, yeah, exactly. So
Because
it's inherently
it's called a
okay.
self-evident truth.
Like,
It's
yeah.
called self-evident. So that's why the pro-life position is irrefutable. Because you have to posit human beings have rights.
And that's that. And is not a kind of a concern that like we base all our entire ideology on this one illogical circle that.
No, it's not illogical. It's incredibly logical.
So, like,
we are human beings,
what I'm
and we
interested
believe
in
that
is
they matter.
Like, if you were to remove this circle here, then you would have to actually be pro-life in the sense of be pro-life to all life.
Oh, we are.
Right. So pro-life to like animals. And kind of, you know.
But we don't
saying,
believe human beings are.
I'm not like a vegan or anything. I'm not vegetarian.
But human beings are not the moral same as
a
a bird. It's not the same thing.
Sue Richards, mother of 3, booker of holidays.
Oh, that does look nice.
The pool's calling you, Sue. The buffet breakfasts, the walks on the shore.
Gary doesn't like sandy toes.
He can keep his shoes on, Sue. Be the saver of summer, the taker of trips, the goat of going. Do like Sue and use Kayak to find the perfect flights for your trip. Kayak compares prices from hundreds of different travel sites, meaning you could save 25% or more on your flights. Kayak. Go see for yourself.
You gotta love Biscoff.
For multiple reasons, because a human being has characteristics and qualities, and most importantly, we believe as Christians, human beings have a soul that a bird does not have.
Okay, so characteristics and qualities.
And only,
like...
let me interrupt one more.
Sorry,
the West,
no
whether
problem.
you agree or not, sorry to interrupt, we believe the human being is the only thing made in the image of the Creator, Imago Dei.
Okay, so when you say characteristics and qualities, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to me?
Well, first of all, not just the ability to reason, but also the ability to sympathize, empathize, feel, predict, plan, conjecture, to have mercy, forgiveness, to be able to be
all beautiful
introspective.
things. I love that. I love that about us human beings.
Oh, no, I know.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, but
it's a good
we
point.
human beings are exceptional, actually. I mean,
Right.
versus the beasts of the wild, of which we should appreciate and adore. But again, more beyond that, we come after this from a soft religious view, because you don't have to be Christian to believe this,
Right.
that the human being has innate, inerrant, embedded, let's just say, dignity that a fox does not.
Right. Yeah. So what you just did there is kind of like my argument here. You're saying that like because we are human, we are more developed, we have higher cognitive reasoning, we're able to sympathize, emotion, and reason, do all these
And the
great
soul.
things. Right. But the thing is, well, I guess that's a religious belief though.
Well,
In
that's
my
an
belief
interesting
system,
question.
I think that consciousness is the soul.
And
if that
that's
makes sense.
that's where why if you don't believe in God, it's easy to go want to murder a bunch of people. And I'm not criticizing you.
Right,
it goes
right,
back to
right.
just a common theme here. If you believe in God, every human being has dignity.
Well, you're kind of intuition pumping there about saying if it's murder because we haven't really discussed, we haven't even agreed on
I mean,
whether
but look,
the zygote is
of course,
a human being
if
worth
it's a human being
considering,
and the elimination of human life is murder, but that's
Right.
fine. We're
Okay.
just. This is why it's very hard to change people that don't believe in God to be pro-life, because you don't necessarily believe that human life is necessarily special.
No, I mean I do.
But you might
believe
think it's
human
like
life is
unique
very
and it's
special,
like
right?
interesting.
It is
but
unique
you
experience,
don't
right?
believe it's made in the image of a creator.
Okay, yeah,
And
I
that's
mean-
fine. And that's why we tend to be the pro-life champions, and those that don't believe in God don't. And that's okay.
Okay.
It's just that clarity is important for the audience.
Okay, so I guess we can keep going back and forth. I'm sure you got a whole lot, and we'll
It's
give it
fine.
some
No,
more people.
you-
But I
you've been great.
I do want to have a good question with you. A question about that I want to leave off on is so it seems like I think you're pretty set in stone in this position, and I would like to ask, what would I have to do or prove to show you in order to convince you that pro-life isn't the answer that society should be seeking for?
I mean, it would be an impossibility. You have to prove to me God doesn't exist.
Okay, so then we can agree that like this is just a moral issue that you're appealing to a book.
Of course. I mean, all moral issues appeal to an authority, obviously.
Okay.
Why is murder wrong?
I mean, because the reason, if you want to talk about morality, we can talk about morality too.
Abortion is a moral issue, of course it is.
Yeah.
But
the reason why
our
I
whole
think-
conversation
I
is laced
think-
with morality.
But in order to kind of like reduct it to like a textbook or a book or a specific like thing,
Well,
a scribe
why?
of
Where do you
truth,
get your
right?
morality from?
Well, I think morality should be based on like what is the best choice of action to help society progress.
Okay,
If that makes any sense.
okay, got it. What
Right.
what if society agrees we should kill the dumb people?
Well, probably not the best.
Well, but why?
Well, the thing is, it's
Or
just
how
not,
about- how
well,
about
the
this?
thing is,
We should abort-
pragmatically that doesn't work out. Because
Yes,
if
it
we kill
does.
the
In
dog-
Iceland, it's mandatory to abort Down syndrome babies.
Okay.
It's it's best, right? Down syndrome people are a strain on society. Why do you say it's wrong?
I mean, because there's some degree of like we should protect some people.
Why? By what standard? Why are you appealing to? I appeal to a book. What do you appeal to?
The thing is, I think like there's still some value to
Why?
people
What
to
standard?
that
Is
have,
that your
like-
opinion, or is there something transcendent telling you that?
No, there's something transcendent because like there is some sacredity to life, and that's what I agree with. I agree that life
Why?
is sacred That's why I would agree that if you adopted a more broader pro-life stance, I think I would be more on side of that. Like if you want to have a society where we're forcing women to breed and pump out children, then I would say you would have to create that society where like it is more able for them to do that, and in addition to not be indiscriminate between life. So I think I would agree with that sentiment, right?
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Thank
can I
you.
get a hat?
Yeah, I'll give you a hat. Thank you.
Hey. Charlie,
Thank you.
Can you sign it? Can you sign it? Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate you.
Charlie, can I please get a white hat? I want to ask a question.
Okay, who's up?
You sure you don't want to give these guys a little chance to... Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. All right, so we're talking objective truths here, right, Charlie? Okay, so thing is, here's an objective truth. Every single policy the Republicans claim they're for, they've basically done the opposite of, right? Every time you repeal a piece of abortion legislature, the coat hanger business gains a few new customers, right? And even after they're born, you guys don't give as much of a crap about them after they're out of the womb, right? You don't want to pay
That's
for
not true. Why would you say that?
Because you guys have an active war against education. You guys have an active war against free lunch.
Hold on. Just because you don't want to throw government money at something doesn't mean you don't care about them. Time out. We want to have more police, so safer streets, so kids don't get killed in crossfire, gang shootings. We want to have a secure southern border so that hundreds of thousands of girls are not sold into sex slavery every single year. We want school choice so that kids can have a better education. We actually want a balanced budget so the U.S. dollar will be around for future generations. I reject this whole thing that, oh, you guys are only pro-life at birth. No, every policy that we have is rooted in a pro-life position.
Okay, all right. So let's move a little bit on from that. I'm not saying I've lost yet, because a woman did kill her own child literally like a couple of days ago. On day of birth, 60 years in prison, as she should have. But like that is a abortion problem. She was raped. But
yeah, I know, but
let's
hold
move.
on. But if she would have killed the baby while it was in the womb, it would have been okay. So why was it wrong to kill the baby outside the womb?
Because the baby could cry.
Oh, the baby can't cry in a womb?
Okay.
No,
want to talk about...
No, you brought it up. Why is it bad to slit the throat of a baby once it's born, but okay to slit the throat of the baby that's in the womb?
Less cells, just straight up less cells. I would
one
say
day difference. One day
count
difference.
the cells, less cells, right?
Wait, so the amount of cells you have dictate your moral worth? I have more.
I do not want to get into this moral thing.
No, you already did.
Okay,
hold
then
on.
we will.
I have more.
Would you go into a crowd of black people and say the N-word? Would you? If there's no moral covenant against that, would you go? If I gave you $500 right now, would you? Would you?
No.
Would you say it?
No.
What's stopping you?
I mean,
what's stopping you? What line in the Bible is going to stop you going up to a group of guys going, hey, fellas, mind if I say a word? Mind if I speak my piece? No.
You say the word?
Because I have a different set of morals. I say that's just wrong.
By what moral is that wrong?
By morals of around, find out. I'm going to get my jumped. I will get this out of me. This presumptuous. I don't know about you, but any kind of argument that there's an objective morality that doesn't depend.
Was Hitler objectively evil?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree.
Amount of cells, gone. Biomass, that's kind of.
So wait, so does someone who is older have moral rights than a 4-year-old because they have more cells?
Depends on the person.
Okay.
Listen, mine makes right? I got more inches on that guy. I could probably jump him. I mean, like, if... Listen, not to start a fight. I have no offense. I didn't even point at a person. What, did I point at you? I'm sorry if I did. I'd lose against him. If I was pointing at him, I would lose. But, okay. Here's what I actually want to talk about, okay? We've gone a little sidetracked. That was my preamble. Hey, listen. All right? I want to talk to you about DEI, right? Because I have a feeling that I'm a white man, right?
You are?
I would say I am, right? I would say I'm a white guy. I may be entirely Chinese, but what even is a white guy, right? Throughout history, right? Irish people and Polish people were not considered white people. Then you're going to say in 17 blah, 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 they technically were counted. Right now, you look at the books, Arabic people are called
What's the
white
question?
people.
We got a long line.
Do you disagree with the fact that I'm white?
I mean, look, I don't know what you are. You don't look very white to me, but I mean, like, not.
You don't look very white to me either. I mean,
I'm like the whitest person you'll ever meet.
I'm a phrenologist, right? I'm a phrenologist. I'm paler than you are. Look at me.
Okay, great.
Look at me, okay? So, I don't think there's a physical objective quality that defines being a white guy, I think, right? Because if you look at the book, it's not a country of origin. There's no country of origin for white people. It's like saying Asian people are one race.
Caucasian is the better term, but...
Well,
I would prefer not to talk about race all the time, but yeah.
Well, all right. Then what's the problem with, like, let's say a Mexican?
There's no problem
There's
with
no problem with Mexicans? Then what was your beef against Kilmar Abrigo Garcia? He was in court for different reasons. And then
What's my beef with a wife-beating, child-abusing gang member here illegally? I don't know, the fact that he's a wife-beating, child-abusing gang member here illegally, that's my beef with him.
Okay.
And he's from El Salvador, not Mexico. Racist, get that right?
Oh, my bad. Who's doing it now, dude? Hey, wait a second.
All right, thank you very much.
Hold
Next,
on.
thank you.
All right, one last thing. Anyone want this hat? Take that get off my campus.
No, I'll be here for another hour and a half. He's going to go and tell his friends, I own Charlie Kirk.
He probably is, man.
We're back at the Coral Fan Arena for an even bigger season. The Prawn Sandwich Brigade shaking up a free bet after that free lunch. They're all shaking it, and everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker to win bigger guaranteed football rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
He probably is. Hey,
You're eager beaver.
I am, man, because I have a midterm soon, but I wanted to talk to you real quick because honestly, man, I'm a moderate, so I disagree with you on a lot of issues, but I also agree with you on a lot of issues, and I'm so glad you've come to this campus, and so I want to say welcome to this campus, man. Welcome to this campus. Thank you for educating everybody. But one thing that we don't talk about often, especially as Republicans, and again, I'm a moderate. Sometimes this past election I was Republican, but we don't talk about social mobility a lot. We don't talk about like the debt to GDP ratio. Trump, his tax cuts and jobs plan, man, it's really like it's not decreasing our deficit at all. And we're at the highest rates we've ever been at since World War II. We're literally going to surpass, 100% debt to GDP ratio. And there's no plan, at least under the Obama plan, we were going to raise like $650 billion over the next 10 years, which I know isn't enough. But I mean, come on, we've got to do something about that. And like, what's the deal with that?
We need more spending cuts. I mean, we don't know yet what the plan is going to look like, but I hope we have spending cuts across the board. I mean, I agree with you. We need to balance our budget. It's a major threat to our country.
Well, the big thing is too, man. I mean, I'm an older student, right? I'm clearly not 19 anymore, or at least maybe you think so, but whatever. It took me a while to get here, man. It took me a while to get to college. I got on a med school shirt. I actually switched to economics because I hope I can get in rooms with guys like you one day and have these discussions. But look, man, it took me forever to get here. It took me forever to get to college. And the only reason that I'm here today is because I had to move from a Republican state to such a liberal state like California so that I could actually get an education because it was completely unaffordable. And we just don't address that. We just don't address it.
What state are you from?
I'm originally from Georgia. And I know it swings back and forth, but still, I mean, there's just no opportunities there, man. I mean, I tried my hardest my whole life, man. Believe me, I work and I work and I work and I pound and I save, but there are no opportunities.
I would just push back a little bit, though. I mean, a lot more people are leaving California than coming into California. Like
I understand but those are wealthy people that are leaving.
No, that's not true. No, a lot of working middle class people are leaving this state. The opportunities are in states like Texas and Arizona and Florida, and increasingly not here in this state.
But the opportunity for social mobility is here. I mean, for instance, for me to get to the first, for me to be in the first quartile of my income and to make it all the way up to the fifth, for me to, be working my butt off, making a $40,000.
You're very unusual to say that because California has the highest housing prices in the country.
Yeah.
The highest cost of living,
Correct.
The most homelessness. So you're very unusual to say that the social mobility is good here in California because it's not.
It's because people don't take advantage of it. But I mean, I came here specifically to take advantage of it because I can see the system here, and I mean, just saying it works for people who actually use it. So I just think we should.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. All right. Yes. Is that a SpaceX shirt? Looks like it, yeah.
Hey, Charlie. Thank you for everything you do. You're one of the reasons I started going to the church this year. My first question is, with the population crisis going on, how can abortion not be justified when the baby will not be able to reproduce, such as a baby with Down syndrome? Defend your abortion stance if the result will be less humans in the following generation.
Okay, so are you asking me as a hypothetical, or can you restate that, please?
So with the population crisis going on,
collapse, yeah.
Collapse, exactly. How can abortion not be justified when the baby, like such as someone who has Down syndrome, will not be able to reproduce for the following generation?
Oh yeah, I mean, look. Oh, you're talking about abortion for Down syndrome.
Or anyone
I mean,
who
look,
will not be
a
able
Down
to
syndrome
reproduce.
baby has dignity regardless of its capacity to not produce. If you find out that, I mean, do people that have infertility problems, do they not get human rights? Right? I mean, so if someone can't reproduce, that doesn't mean they shouldn't be allowed to live.
Got it. Next question is, with the rise in Bible sales and church attendance, as someone who didn't grow up with religion, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to welcome religion into their life and find their faith?
I love that question. Read your Bible every single day. Fight your flesh. Your flesh is going to want to do easy and immediate things like drink and go out and do stuff. Find difficult and hard stuff and find your aim as a man and point everything you can towards it. And spread the good news of God and Jesus Christ in every possible way that you can, and put Jesus first in everything that you do.
Awesome, thank you. Can I shake your hand?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, man. God bless you. Yes, thank you. You got to sign one. Thank you. Who's up? Yeah. You guys already have one. These people. All right, here we go. Yes.
I don't. I don't believe that we could use Christianity as. I don't believe that we could use Christianity as a good moral basis for certain laws, considering that historically speaking, Christianity has committed many atrocities. I mean, the Christian Crusades killed many people, and they destroyed a lot of our written texts that didn't agree with Christian points, like, for example, the works of Sappho.
The works of what?
Sappho.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, anyways, I understand that this is Catholicism, but also the schools in Canada that abused many Native American people. I just don't see how we could argue that Christianity is the great moral authority that you're saying it is for making these laws when arguably they've done a lot of horrible things.
What moral code do you live by?
I'm a Buddhist, so I mean...
So it's all about yourself?
No, it's just about being... Well, I guess you could say that. But
I know, yeah, I know Buddhism. So let's play it out. What is the top accomplishment of a Buddhist?
I guess just to be a good person and...
No, to reach nirvana, you know that.
Well, yes, but not everyone can reach nirvana.
I know, but you want to try to ascend, right? And so it's all about yourself, all inward looking, right? To try to limit your touch with the outside world, that the outside world is dirty and it's, you know, it's kind of polluted.
I don't believe as a Buddhist, that's not how I was taught, and I don't think it's fair for you to argue for Buddhism in that sense because
no, that's
you're
what
not
Buddhism,
a Buddhist.
No, I know plenty about Buddhism. So Buddhism, as it's written, is that the world is contaminated. We must remove ourselves from the world, and we're going to spiritually ascend ourselves by meditation.
But there's people who don't believe in that.
Well, then you don't believe in
different
Buddhism. That's fine.
sects
What okay.
Of Buddhism, and they believe in all different kinds of things.
So,
just
that's
as
fine.
There's different sects
So
of
can you-
Christianity. I'm just not in that sect.
Got it. So can you what moral way do you think society should live by? Not Christianity. So what way should we live by?
I think that it's not as much about morality as much as societal, and it's just societal needs. Like, for example, like abortion, we can't argue that, you know, Christianity is the reason that we should not allow abortions when clearly there's both a medical and a societal need for abortion.
There's not a medical reason to kill babies, right? So that doesn't exist.
Okay,
But-
well, I have one example for that. My mother had Vasoprevia, and they had offered her an abortion because birthing the baby would not only kill her And, like, if she went into labor because the placenta had split into many little veins and covered her birth canal, if she ever went into labor and my little brother at the time, if he had pushed on the birth canal to exit her, she would have died. Both her and her son would have died.
Did your brother survive or no?
I want to continue with this point. So she was offered the opportunity for an abortion because not only was she the main breadwinner of her family, but she is also raising 2 kids as well already. The right to an abortion is possibly could have saved her life. She did end up surviving, but not. I don't think that we should limit the ability to get an abortion to other women in her situation.
Wait, hold on, time out. So your brother you know now?
Huh?
Is your brother survive or no?
Yes, he did.
Wait, so aren't you glad your brother wasn't aborted? I mean, come on.
I don't.
What kind of argument is that? Aren't you glad your brother's not dead?
It's not that. I'm glad that he wasn't aborted.
Yes,
but
so
I'm
that's
also,
so we're
like,
pro-life. That's what we want. We don't want your brother to be aborted. Imagine how many millions other like him are aborted.
Yes, but if my mom died,
She didn't. It's not even a good argument.
Well, there's so many people that did.
No, that's not correct. I said that earlier. It only happens a couple dozen times a year, and the baby could be delivered by C-section.
People with vasa previa have a much higher rate of death than other women
yes,
who are
this
pregnant.
happens maybe a couple hundred times a year, and there's 1.5 million abortions every single year. This is on the extreme of the extreme.
If we have to take away abortions, then we're taking away from everybody, even the people who have a medical need for abortion, where the baby is going to kill them if they come out.
Again, I can grant you that, fine, we'll have those exceptions. Can we make abortion illegal for the other circumstances?
No,
You're
it
just
is about
using
those.
it.
It is
really?
about those circumstances, because when we take away those rights from everyone and we go into a hospital and there's an emergency need to remove a baby, then we have to prove that there's an actual emergency need instead of just it being an automatic right. Then doctors
You
aren't
don't
going
have
to
a
be
right
willing
to murder another human being.
It's not necessarily a right. It's just
is
the
it
ability to.
So
be
when
able,
your brother was in your mom's womb, was your brother a human being?
I mean, I don't want to argue that. I think that we could
No,
argue about
it's
that
not an
for
argument.
a
It's a
long
question.
time.
When your
I don't
brother
think
was
it's
in,
useful.
when your brother was in the womb, was it a human being?
I believe that on my moral compass, I believe that he was, but I don't think that my moral compass should dictate the medical needs and the
So what
societal
moral
needs
compass?
of others.
Fine. What moral compass should we use to write laws then?
Not necessarily a single one. I think that everyone's moral compass is different, and
which
that
one
we should
wins?
be able to.
Which one should say? Let's, for
the
example.
one that supports women the most, the one that
By
allows
what
women
standard,
to get
though?
medical.
Why is that? Why is that good? I mean, by what book do you reference? By some moral standard you're appealing to. What is it?
Sorry, what?
No, yeah. By what moral standard do you say that we should have health care for women? Why? What? At some point, you're basing this on something. What is it?
I think that it's not even a moral standard. It's in the
is. Oh.
Constitution. Women should have equal rights, and that includes the right to.
You do not have a right to
choice.
murder another because life is the first right. We've been through that. But I'm saying, but at some point, you say you don't want Christianity to have the moral source. So I ask you, by what moral code should we live by?
Well, I don't think there's a defining moral code that we should live by. We all
Of course
have
there is.
different-
Should we help the sick?
Well, yes,
Should we help
but
the poor?
there's okay, but my
Should
moral
we
code
feed the
as
hungry?
a Buddhist is that I should never kill an animal. And many Christians hunt. Many people, kill animals for a living. That's how
I'm
they
not
make
talking
a
about your
living.
personal. Society has to make decisions, right?
Yeah,
So-
and when society makes decisions, they should account for the fact that everyone has a different moral compass.
but then-
if
but
we're
then-
a society that, first of all, a modern society, we shouldn't be basing our moral compass
Oh,
off
but hold
of
on a
a
second.
book
You're
made thousands of years ago.
well, first of all, Buddhism's very old too. But contradicting.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
That's why I don't think Buddhism.
but there's
I don't
a-
think we should ban people
There's
going
a
out to
contradiction
hunt
here, though.
because
Time
I
out.
don't believe in killing
At
animals.
some point, we have to decide what laws to make. We have to say something.
and I think the laws should be dependent on
on what?
how we can most benefit the people already existing in our society.
Well, okay, but don't people in the womb exist?
That's you could argue that for so long. I don't think it's really useful when
It's
we're
very
talking
useful.
about.
Are you glad you weren't aborted? Are you glad you weren't aborted?
I'm not. I mean, if it was something that if aborting me would have benefited my mother far more than having me would have, then I wouldn't be necessarily angry about it. It's not
See, I'm glad your mom did not abort you because I think life is beautiful. And I want to give that gift to as many people as possible.
Yeah, but you're also, in the same turn, taking that gift away from women. If a woman has a medical need and her life is in danger,
I've already
for
granted.
having this
Let's say
baby.
abortion is legal for medical circumstances. 1.4
Okay,
million.
but then when we get rid of abortion for those exceptions, right, we need to think about how it is applied in the actual...
Abortion is the #1 form of birth control in the country right now. Over 1.4 million abortions every single year for non-rape, non-incest, non-life of the mother.
It's really the #1 form of birth control in this country?
Well, that we know
I highly
of.
doubt
Actually,
that.
if you think
I'm
about
sorry,
it, if you
that's
think
crazy.
about the day after pill.
That's crazy.
Right? If you think about the
People
day
are spending
after pill.
$50 for a abortion instead of, like, you know, the pull-out method, getting a condom. You really think, I'm
Hold on.
sorry, in your twisted worldview, you really
Hold
think
on, let's
the
think about
#1
it.
form
Plan
of birth
B.
control is abortion?
Plan B.
I'm sorry, that's crazy.
No, Plan B, right? Abortifacients, at-home abortions, chemical abortions, surgical abortions. All those can be defined as abortifacients. Yes, you might be right. Okay, you might say condoms are more than that, but abortion has become a form of birth control. Can you agree with that?
I mean, anything that... Well, all of it, obviously, anything can be considered birth control. I mean, me deciding to not have sex is birth control. I mean,
And that's what more people should do.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't think that that's necessarily something that we can police. Like, what, you're going to go into people's
I'm
bedrooms
not policing,
and, like,
but I'm saying, though, if you're going to decide to have sex, don't kill the baby after you have sex. Pretty
Well,
simple.
I don't
Because you
think
made a
that-
decision to get pregnant.
I don't think that that's necessarily a good argument. I mean, there's more nuance to that.
There's no nuance to it. A human life exists. I can't murder someone in the crowd. Why? Because murder is wrong. You can't murder someone in a womb. Why? Because murder is wrong. Thank you for your time. Yes.
Okay, hi. So I understand that you're fundamentally against immigrant workers, illegal immigrant workers. That's true, right?
Yeah, they should all be deported back to their country of origin.
So what do you think is the best policy for keeping out illegal immigrants?
Well, we already know. First of all, do you know that border crossings have gone down 99.99%? Thank you, President Trump, for securing the southern border. So we know it. And finally, there has to be a much greater penalty for visa overstays and for people that come here legally and overstay their green card or their temporary work visa.
Do you think there should be a greater penalization for those who employ immigrants, illegal immigrants?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So did you help build the Citadel? Did you just lie to me about everything?
Can't we just sneak through the cave base? We turned a new leaf, Morty. We're back to simple adventures.
I don't want to do this anymore if I'm not going to get straight answers from you.
God damn it. Here's my fucking downloaded brain, Morty. You want to jump the shark? You want to know my stupid crybaby backstory? Knock yourself out. Not now!
Jeez, Rick, what is this place?
The Citadel of Ricks. It's the secret headquarters for the Council of Ricks.
Council of Ricks?
As you know, Morty, I've got a lot of enemies in the universe that consider my genius a threat. Galactic terrorists, a few subgalactic dictators, most of the entire intergalactic government. Wherever you find people with heads up their asses, someone wants a piece of your grandpa. And a lot of versions of me on different timelines had the same problem. So a few thousand versions of me had the ingenious idea of banding together, like a herd of cattle or a school of fish or those people who answer questions on Yahoo Answers.
Hey, what do you know? It's a cowboy version of me.
Jeez, you're easy to impress. Rick Sanchez of Earth Dimension C-137. You are under arrest for crimes against alternate Ricks by the authority of the Trans-Dimensional Council of Ricks. Let's get it over with. Bring his Morty.
Oh, man.
Leave my Morty out of this. You lost the right to have a say in these things when you refused to join the council. Not my cup of tea, this place. I say the point of being a Rick is being a Rick. Save your anti-Rick speech for the Council of Ricks.
It's all right if you have an opinion. I'm saying it's not all right if you don't understand how the female reproductive system works.
Let's pop quiz. When does heartbeats begin for babies in utero?
Have you ever eaten an egg before? That's yes or no. Have you ever eaten an egg before?
Scrambled, yeah.
Okay, so would that be you scrambled a full chicken?
Well, hold on. You understand that it takes an egg to be fertilized?
Right.
Yeah.
But Your point,
So-
the whole
so-
point you're making,
Well,
is
hold
that
on. So,
a
but no,
baby.
since we're doing pop quiz on like human development, so when exactly do heart waves begin in utero?
You know that, but you don't know the four.
Hold on, no, so tell me when heartbeat.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know.
No.
So wait, hold on. So you're trying to say I know more about the woman reproductive system than you do?
I am a woman, so yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, but the point being is we could both go back and forth of like independent trivial facts when it comes to the woman's reproductive system. But here's something we all know, because God wrote this on the human heart of every individual, as it says in the book of Romans. We know deep down it's wrong to murder a baby.
You're not murdering a baby. It's
Okay.
not a baby.
Okay, well let's play this out. What is it then?
It is an embryo, which is not a baby.
Well, okay, so it's a fertilized embryo.
Correct, which
right.
is not a baby.
So at what point does it become a baby?
When it is born.
Oh.
I don't agree with abortions up to full-term abortions.
Well, hold on, but you said it becomes a baby when it's born.
Yes.
Then why would you have abortion limits before it's born? I thought it's just an embryo. So embryo rights?
No, the embryo rights aren't a
But
thing.
then
because it's not
where
a
would you
person.
draw a line for abortion then, and why, and under what moral standard?
There are medical reasons not to have an abortion
No,
for
that's
full
not the
term.
question. That's not
Yes,
the
it is.
question.
You just asked me why would I not have an abortion full term for medical reasons.
Okay, so at 29 weeks, the baby is nearly fully developed, can recognize the mother's voice, has a heartbeat, has brain waves. Is it okay to abort that baby?
I don't it's not okay, but you're gonna say it's okay to have an abortion then. I don't understand what you're trying to say. It's not okay to have an abortion ever? How
Correct.
about 3
Yes.
weeks in?
Correct. No abortion. Correct.
Why?
Well, because your life started at conception.
It did not though. It
Well-
did not.
Well, hold on. So let's play this out. So who are you as an individual? From your skin color to your eye color to your likes, your dislikes, from your temperament to your everything.
I am not an embryo. I'm a person.
Hold on a second. But it started with something called deoxyribonucleic acid. And your own individual DNA started at the point of egg and sperm meeting. That's where your journey started. And so from that point in particular, life begins. Not at birth, not at first words, not at first steps, but when your DNA, which is who you actually are. You are your DNA. Every one of your DNA cells is coded XX or XY. It's coded with all of your unique characteristics and attributes that we believe God individually curated for the rest of your life. That doesn't happen at 8 weeks or 10 weeks. It happens at conception.
What happens if you need a medical abortion? If the mother
Okay.
will die if she does not get an abortion?
So
What's your stance on
the
that?
only place where medical abortion is necessary is before 20 weeks, which is
What
incredibly
if she
rare.
will die? What if the mother
Hold
will
on a second.
die?
So let's take for example, this is a very important question. Let's say it's 27 weeks, okay? And the mother will die. Why shouldn't, you could agree, why don't we just have the baby delivered by cesarean section? You know what a cesarean section is, right?
Yes.
What is a cesarean
A
section?
C-section?
Yeah, why wouldn't we just put the baby out by C-section instead of terminating it?
Because if the mother will die, it's not safe
but
to
you,
do that.
You remove the baby.
I understand.
Threat removed.
I know what a C-section
But
is.
it's actually safer than an abortion. So every time they say, this is for you guys, they say, oh, you need to have abortion for medical reasons, respond, then have a C-section.
What if you're not able to have a C-section? What if you are on your deathbed, you need to have an abortion right now?
The 10th anniversary Grand Voyage is an extended celebration packed with rewards, memories, and missions. It's our biggest event yet, and you're invited. Captain, your course is set. Sail through exclusive missions, earn voyage tokens, and exchange them for valuable rewards, including doubloons and steel. Whether you're a returning veteran, loyal sailor, or new arrival on our seas, there's something for everyone. With welcome bonuses, daily rewards, and themed events in Update 14.7, the celebration will run through the end of the year. Honor the past, command the present, celebrate 10 incredible years at sea. Download now. Join the celebration for free.
Well, again, but
and it's illegal. You
guess what?
can't, so you
Actually,
have to die.
First and foremost, C-section is safer, C-section is quicker, and a C-section saves both lives. A C-section
The
takes...
baby is already dead, you just said.
No, but even... No. Hold on a second. You're saying if the baby's already dead, then it isn't even an abortion, right? Then you're talking about a removal of a carcass, which is a completely different medical operation.
So you're saying that's okay if you're having...
If you're If you're removing a carcass of a baby, that is not an abortion. By definition,
It's the same process.
No, it's completely different. During an abortion, they actually inject the spinal fluid with cyanide poisoning as the baby squirms and tries to find its mother, and it is gasping for air of life. Have you ever watched an abortion? It is
Have
one
you?
of the... Yeah, actually I have. And I encourage every human being to watch one to know what you are fighting against. Because when you see abortion, you will have your life will be changed. That we allow the massacre of 1.5 million babies a year under the guise of woman reproductive health. We are allowing babies every single year to just say, you know, we're going to discard them. Why? Oh, they're smaller. They're not humans. You're using dehumanizing language saying, oh, it's an embryo. No, that's a baby. Made in the image of God, deserving of protection.
What do you do with those children once they're born into a bad household?
So now we've transitioned to, like, what do you do with the kids?
Right.
Glad we're past the other part of the argument, okay? What do you do with them? You know there's twice as many people on the adoption waiting list than there are abortions every single year?
And they're still on the list. So you want to send a child into an orphanage?
Well,
is that what you want for a child? Is that a good life for a child?
No, I'm not advocating that. In fact, I'm advocating to make it easier to be able to adopt, number one. Number two, there's no such thing as an unwanted child. Number three, it is never right to justify the mass elimination or termination of people under the guise of saying they're unwanted. That's how we get Auschwitz. That's how we get the greatest horrors of the 20th century. Those people are unwanted.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust?
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
It's really not. I don't
It's
think it
45 million babies. It's nearly 8 times worse than the Holocaust. What's the moral difference between a small baby in the womb and a grown Jew who was killed at Auschwitz? What's the moral difference? One is older?
Is a person?
What species is the baby in the womb?
It's a human, but
Therefore,
it's an
they should have human rights.
No!
They should have human rights.
I do not agree.
Oh, so small humans, no human rights. Grown humans, human rights.
It's not a small human. It's an embryo.
You just said it was a human species.
It's not a living human child.
Wait, it's not a what?
It's not a child.
But
it's not a living child.
It has a heartbeat. It has brain
that does
waves.
not make it a child.
But tell me when it becomes a child then.
I already told you, when it is born.
Again, so under every other objective definition, you see, guys, how quickly the pro-abortion arguments fall apart with just the slightest questioning? But our position is one rooted not in feelings, not in personal autonomy, but one in biological consistency and reality. That your life had an agreed-upon starting point, that starting point should be protected and preserved. And the excuses given for abortion is dehumanization. Oh, it's just an embryo. Guys, that's just using different language to justify the massacre of something smaller than you. That's all that it is. You brought a sign up.
I'm sorry?
Did you bring a sign up?
Yeah, I did, but... So my name is Eric. I'm 70 years old. I've been a born-again evangelical Christian for 35 plus years.
Praise God.
Worshipped here in the Valley with a bunch of, I was on worship teams in the Valley for quite a few churches. But the Holy Spirit brought me here today to prove you wrong. Okay, and so what the Holy Spirit has led me to do is to try to explain to you that I don't think you're a good, godly man. Okay, wait. And this is why. Because what a godly man does, a good godly man does, is stand up for people. He stands up for people. He stands up and even fights for people, okay? And I don't believe you stand up and fight for people. Yeah, you use your mouth and all these kids, you're good at all these kids. And I didn't think you were going to
Are they people?
Yeah, they're people.
Do I
but
fight
still.
for them?
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store preloaded with 20 handpicked products that are trending all over the world, basically validated by AI from a trending product database from one of the top vendors on the planet. And the reason that we can do this completely free for you is because, well, Shopify is paying me to do it. You've probably seen me before because for the last year, Shopify has loved the AI-paired software that we built so much that they've been paying me to build people just like you, complete beginners, a completely free store. Now, again, it's free for you, right? Shopify is paying me a commission to do it. And if you don't keep your store for more than 90 days, I don't even get paid. But your store is still free, right? And after 90 days, it's still your store. I don't own a percentage of the store. I don't control the store. It's yours. You can delete products from it, add new products to it, all that good stuff. It's your store, okay? Not only that, I'm going to give you my courses completely free. I'm not going to try to upsell you a bunch of courses. I know you've seen gurus trying to sell courses for $1,000, $2,000, so on and so forth. I can afford to give you my courses for free because, again, Shopify pays me when you use this software and open up a Shopify store. So you get a free store, right? I get a commission from Shopify, and Shopify gets a new merchant to their platform that's being trained by me. It's a win-win-win situation. All you have to do is click here right now. I dare you to do it. I dare you to see if it's free. You're going to go to the next page. You're going to create a free account. You're going to get a free account to our AI software that's going to build you a store in the next 20 minutes is ready to start taking orders. The sales pages are going to be done. The product descriptions are going to be done. The products are going to be uploaded to the store for you, ready to go, ready to start taking orders. The custom theme is going to be uploaded with banners for you. It's going to be ready to go. It's weeks of work and thousands of dollars worth of design done for you, all by AI, completely free. The only thing that you have to do is create your own Shopify account. And again, the reason I'm able to do this for free is because Shopify is paying me. I'm awarded as the most innovative commerce coach in the world by Shopify. Shopify follows me. They like a lot of my ads. And this is something that Shopify is 100% aware of and loves. That's why they're paying me to do it. So you can go pay somebody for a bunch of courses. You can go pay somebody to build you a store, or you can just click here and let our AI software build it for you for free. And you'll have an epic, professional, optimized store ready to go in the next 20 minutes. The choice is yours. But if you want to get started right now, by the person that's awarded as most innovative commerce coach in the world, that's going to give you courses for free, build your store for free, then you got to click here right now. Again, I dare you to do it. I dare you to see if it's free. Not a dime's coming out of your pocket for my services. Shopify is paying me to give them to you. Let's go.
Hi, James Godfrey here with Croit, and today we're going to be giving you a demonstration of our Croit management solution. So we provide a solution to manage the entire Ceph lifecycle, from onboarding to consumption setup to rolling upgrades. Our goal is to make Ceph simple so that you can get the benefits of Ceph, but that anybody can run it reliably. We provide traditional Ceph support and training. We support many types of customers, from universities, governments, service providers, multiple Fortune 100 businesses, and so on. Our support is global 24/7. We have fast SLAs. We also have Ceph developers on staff, meaning we can actually do true RCAs for bugs and even create bug fixes. And here's a high-level diagram of what this would look like. So the Croit Docker container is what gets deployed on a Linux server that can be physical or virtual that you manage. And the container handles all of the provisioning of new nodes, importation of existing Ceph clusters. It manages the node boot images themselves, manages the Ceph and updates, and also gathers telemetry. So this is kind of a high-level overview of what this would look like in perspective to you, your management of it, its management of the Ceph nodes, and then also the services that it provides to Ceph clients. So that would be RDB, CephFS, S3, NFS, SMB, iSCSI, and NVMe over Fabric. This can be done in the same subnet, and This traffic can also be routed to provide these services to your clients.
And how dare you say that after I just shared the gospel to nearly 2,000 people here at Boise State University?
Because there's a difference between someone who just shares the gospel and someone who's a godly man. I can explain the difference to you right now.
Okay, tell the world why I am not a godly man.
Because you only stand for people who are white,
Use
Christian,
evidence.
and male. You've got...
Where's my brother up here?
You've
Where's
got-
my man? Look at him. You got to come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Get over the gate. Come over the gate. Look at this guy here. Look at this. Yeah. Right up to the mic.
You stand for me, we good.
Wait, I only stand up for white. What, is that a white man? Can you look at him, please? Look at him.
I already...
Is that a
I already
white
gave him
man?
a fist bump.
Is that a white man? You said I only stand up for white men. He's got dreads.
Are you... They look nice, too. They do look nice.
But you just libeled me in front of 2,000 people saying I only stand up for white men, and I got a brother in Christ right here. How dare you say something like that?
I'm ready to... If you quit messing around, I'll prove it to you right now.
Messing around, bringing up.
Are you ready? Okay.
Are you ready?
So, yeah, I'm ready. So the Holy Spirit specifically brought me here. Because this is the Idaho, this is the Old West, right? The Holy Spirit brought me here to challenge you to a gentleman's fist fight right here in front of this whole crowd. Now look, listen.
No.
Wait.
I would hate to hospitalize you in front of 2,000 people.
But see, the difference is, I'm a 70-year-old man. I haven't been in a fight in like 60 years. However,
Does a godly man come up here and
Does a godly man challenge another to a duel?
Does a godly
Yes.
man come up here and threaten someone?
okay, so hold on. I'm serious about this. Can I speak? All right, so look, I'm telling you, I'm not up here just fighting for me. The Lord has come up to me to ask for fight for people that you diss all the time, like women.
The Lord brought him here to speak to you.
Women.
Hey, do you want to start streaming? With Own Pro, you get access to hundreds of overlays and alerts. Install them with just one click. Own Pro gives you all designs and tools to start your stream in seconds. Get started now and try Own Pro for free.
I stocked 100 successful Etsy shops for 30 days. Day 15, I noticed something weird. They all looked the same fonts, same layouts. Were they all copying each other? No, they were all using the exact same templates from Kittle. Now watch me use their exact system. Let me show you how fast I can make money with templates. Let's open Kittle and go straight to the trending template section. I'll choose this one, and I'm gonna change the text, illustrations, and colors to fit my niche. Now watch this. I'll duplicate that design and change the text and elements again. And we'll do that again for this design, and once more for this one. Now I've got 4 designs in about 2 minutes worth of work. Then I can upload them to my shop, and within a few days, some of these designs will have multiple sales. It can really be that easy. 4 designs, 2 minutes, 0 design skills needed. While you're viewing this, someone just bought the new steak caffeinated. This is the entire business. Find a template, change words, make money.
Gay people, trans people, immigrants, people of color, people of different religions.
My man.
Immigrants, refugees. So look, seriously, I'm serious. You can have your goons, they can search me. I'll sign a waiver. I'll let you take the first punch. Let's go. Put up or shut up, Charlie Kirk.
You know
Put
what?
up or shut
So,
up.
first of all, it says very clearly in the Bible that we shouldn't harm those that are worthy of protection, and you obviously are.
You're just worried I'll kick your ass.
Well on Medicare age. But let's let's play this out. Despite the obvious fact, and you and I both know who would win this duel. However,
well, then
hold on a second. This is a great embodiment of the American left. You can't debate, so you want to go to blows. You can't. The only thing that is preventing us from this country from going to civil war is debate and dialogue, and you don't even want to have debate. You want to go and you want to wrestle like a 7-year-old. Who here is actually dividing the country?
No. A gentleman's fist fight. You know what that is, right?
Again, I would like to think that we are elevated above trying to go have a fight in the streets or a fight in front of 2,000 people. In fact, a mark of civilization is that we don't have to go to blows or bullets, that we can have discourse and debate, but yet you're inviting that.
And you know that out here in the West, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, really? You don't debate out in the West?
Real men stand up for what they believe.
You guys don't dialogue in the West?
Come on, man. Look, I know.
How about this? Why don't you, since you're a 70-year-old aged elder and you want to have a fist fight with a 31-year-old?
Is that how old you are?
Why don't you tell me what a woman is?
See, I am not here to debate you. I'm here to prove you wrong. Prove you wrong. Prove him wrong. So either put up or shut up. I'll walk away. You tell me right now.
I will say this. I will say this. I'm not going to fight you because I don't have to. Because you know why?
You don't have to.
You are acting as if someone who is very desperate, who is clout chasing. We are going to remain peaceful while the left promotes violence. We are going to be the peace because, as Christ our Lord said, blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Thank you, sir, and get out of here.
Don't pray on it, buddy.
You're a coward, dude. Anytime.
I think that the anti-immigration rhetoric you have is not new. I think that you try to paint a picture of it being this current phenomenon that we're facing, but there's been rhetoric from your side for a long time, throughout the entirety of history. I mean, if we look at the immigration policies in the U.S., even though Chinese immigrants built the entire Western Railroad, there was still the Chinese Exclusion Act because they were providing insane value to the United States, but we still had these exclusion acts because of xenophobic attitudes. And so this is not a novel idea that immigrants are bad for the country. So I'm interested in why you think that all of a sudden we need to change the way the United States works.
Well, first of all, immigration has gone in great influxes. We basically turned off all immigration in the 1940s and 50s. We had like net zero immigration for almost 15 years. Most people don't even know that. So we had Ellis Island in the early 1900s, and then we turned on the guzzle of immigration. But let's be honest, for 40 years, we have tried this mass immigration project for the last 40 years. Has it worked? Are we a more connected country? Have middle-class wages kept up? Look at the material data. Has immigration enriched the well-being of the United States of America, especially the last 5 or 6 years? I would say, of course not, actually. We're more divided, we're more factious, and we see this in almost every European country as well. When you import a bunch of people that don't speak your language, that are from the third world, all of a sudden you have mass destabilization happening in your country. It's not a matter of being xenophobic. Instead, it's a matter of being patriotic to your own country and your own citizens. It's not about hating the foreigner, it's about loving the citizen. And your obligation is always to citizens first, not foreigners.
Okay. So you don't think that the MAGA movement has led to xenophobic attitudes at all?
I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, like...
Why not?
Well, because you have to first define what you mean by xenophobic attitudes.
I mean, just like you said, I mean, we're living in a divided world. You don't think that comes from people being anti-immigration?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think when you allow a bunch of people that aren't native-born Americans too quickly, with no checks, no background, no idea who they are, and flood them into your towns, definitionally, diversity is not a strength when it comes to local community ties.
If you don't use it. If you don't use it, I don't know that you're committed to finding its strength.
Hold on, no, explain this to me. This is a good question.
Yeah.
What country has ever grown stronger the more divided it's been?
None, but I'm not saying that we have to get more divided.
No, but diversity definitionally will divide you. Unity unifies you. You notice they never say unity is our strength, they say diversity is our strength? In fact, just so we are clear, there is nothing racist or xenophobic to say that you want your kids to be around people that speak English. There's nothing racist to say that. It actually means that you want to be able to communicate with your neighbor. There's nothing racist and xenophobic to say, for example, we don't want to import people from a far-off distant land that don't share Western values, that don't treat women the same, that don't have the same respect for freedom of speech. So what we see is the unraveling of the United States of America, because a country is again, just like undoubtedly, it is the people that inhabit it. So you have to be very careful what people you allow into your country.
Sure, but I think that what you're talking about, this like mass shift in American culture, is like not happening. I think you're fear-mongering. And also, I think that the United States forever has been a mix of culture. I don't really know like where you can point to a time in the US history that hasn't included immigrants in its culture.
Again, from the 1920s and 1960s, we had very little immigration in this country, nearly 40 years. In fact, that is what largely led to us becoming a world superpower in the 1950s. We
had the Bracero program back then, where we brought in tons of laborers from Mexico to the United States to work in agricultural, and that's how we fed the United States. So I really don't think that you can say that.
It was very limited in scope versus what we see today. But again, I will ask a more moral question. Does a politician have first loyalty to its own citizens or to another country's citizens?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought this, because I wanted to circle back to my original question about the United States creating instability in the rest of the world. I do think that every single politician, like let's say I'm the Prime Minister of South Africa, you know,
It's just an incredibly anti-white country. Like, oh my goodness.
Okay, anyway.
Dangerously anti-white.
Okay, anyway.
Do you know about that, by the way? You should.
Apartheid, yes.
Oh, no. It's like they're killing white people in the streets in South Africa. They're stealing farmland. I mean, if you don't know about that, that shows how the media is lying to all of you. It is literally a mini white genocide happening in South Africa right now.
But I don't think that we should...
No, it's fine. You brought up South Africa, not me, but yes.
That was just an example. Anyway, let's stay on topic. So let's say I'm the Prime Minister of a country. I do agree with you that my first job is that country, for sure. That's who I'm leading. But considering the United States has created mass violence, instability, and poverty around the world, you don't think that we have some sort of obligation to the people who then have to flee from that?
No.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Problem solved, sir. All stations reporting strategic target. The ship is on fire. Detected.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
Torpedoes, direct front.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes. You can get any combos you want, bold and bright, minimalist and sleek, or something you didn't even think of. Just describe the vibe you want, or even use the colors of your logo, and let AI do its thing. Beautiful. Next up is the AI section creator. This is great for those website essentials, like a contact section or a place to subscribe. Now, I'm running a sale, so I punch in some details, and just like that, I have a promo section. Functional and beautiful. I love it. Now, for the AI text creator. I got some products that need description, so I type in some keywords, and there it is. I've got copy that lands. Now, let's see what the AI image creator can do. Sometimes you just want to spice up your visual game. Type your idea and watch it turn.
Why not?
Wait, hold on. Well, why not? Define your terms. Where have we created mass stability? I'll grant you Iraq. That was a disaster. Where else?
In all of Latin America, in different countries in Africa, places that, like the Philippines that we colonized, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm always so interested in this, as if it's like, you can never blame those countries for not having their act together. It's somehow America's fault. Like, oh, it's America's fault that Nicaragua can't get its act together. It's America's fault, even though we welcome Puerto Rico to become US citizens, like we've colonized them. So here's the paradox.
You don't think that Puerto Rico was colonized?
No. I'm saying no. So if we don't help Puerto Rico, we're evil. When they become a territory, we colonize them, and we haven't done enough. It's like, which one is it exactly?
So the Puerto Rico was taken from the Spanish as a colony and used as a sugar farm for years, where the workers were paid less than $1 per day to create sugar for the United States. And it's not really about statehood or independence. It's about letting Puerto Rico decide that for themselves. And anyway, this isn't about Puerto Rico.
No, it's
this
fine.
is about
But and more broadly, and I'll get to the couple final questions here. I can sense that your problem is that like America's super successful and these other countries aren't. And foundationally, it's rooted in envy, bitterness, and resentment, because we are the world's superpower. It's not because we've held anybody back. It's because we've had incredible people, really good ideas.
You don't think the U.S. has intervened in a negative way in other countries?
At times, yes. At times, we've intervened very favorably. Can you at least acknowledge at times that...
Sure, there has been aid, but there's also been terrible coups.
Not just aid. South Korea exists because of American involvement. Kuwait exists because of American involvement.
But it's not.
So...
But to look at American accountability, you have to look at the whole of that accountability. And to say that certain countries are less developed purely on their own fault is to ignore history.
So that's where we disagree. Okay. Countries have to take responsibility for their own future, which again, this is one of the reasons why so many people hate Israel. Every other country around there is like a third world country, and Israel is super successful and super agenic, and they're able to be like one of the wealthiest countries on the planet. You gotta wonder, what is it that they're doing? Oh, it's the Jews because they're stealing all this money. No, actually they like work super hard, and they don't believe in Islam, and they and like, wow. And the one place
Have you ever been to those countries?
Yeah, actually, I have been to Israel, and I've been to the Palestinian Authority. I've been to the West Bank. I've actually visited it. Even if I hadn't, that doesn't mean what I'm saying is wrong, just for the record. By the way, I encourage you to try to go to Lebanon or Syria. Not exactly the Four Seasons, right? So,
and you
not
don't
great.
think that U.S. intervention has anything to do with that?
Partially, but again, to blame the evil U.S. intervention for every single problem is, at its core, intellectually sloppy.
I don't think so, because the United States has 2 times the military of the rest of the world. It has been in our DNA to intervene in a military way in other countries. So to say, I mean, I know you believe in...
So I want to try to square this all together. I got to get another question, just to make sure I'm clear. So you're mad at America for getting involved in other people's countries, right? So America's bad for that. But then you want everyone to come to America. I thought America's bad.
I'm saying that the United States needs to be held accountable. You can't meddle in
So we're
other
held
countries.
accountable by inviting the entire world here?
If you are going to mess up that country, you have to do something about it.
Oh, do something. Invite them here.
Maybe if you're the reason that they have to leave. No?
All right. Then that at its core, I'm glad you articulated it, is neoconservatism, which is invade the world, invite the world. which is that you don't support the invasion part of it, but somehow we have to invite the world as some sort of like mass penance.
But that's like you invade and then say, oh,
Well, no, I don't support the invasions. I think you are overly ascribing fault to the United States of America, when in reality it's these own broken countries that cannot get their own act together. A great example is this, and I'll close with this. El Salvador is actually safer than America. It has billions of dollars flowing into El Salvador. Why? Because they elected Bukele, who decided to go after MS-13 and clean up the streets of El Salvador. Which, again, it was because they decided to do good things with massive action. Countries can be wealthy. Singapore is wealthy. You could be a very wealthy country if you embrace Western market ideas, private property with low crime, and it's not always...
I mean, in the case of El Salvador, the United States was the reason that the country broke down into gang warfare, and now if you look at the way they were able to turn around, they had to declare a state of emergency just to be able to turn things around.
It's just like, this is where we're different, and then I'll close, then we have to get going. I look at America as a force for good. You look at everything wrong and you say it must be America.
No, sir, I'm looking at bad things that they have done and calling for accountability.
Okay, like I
mean, maybe we disagree, I don't know.
I guess I think we're a wonderful country, and I think if a country is poor, they're poor by choice, and they have to be able to get their act together, make better decisions, and stop acting like victims all the time. Thank you very much.
Stop buying courses. But first things first, let me build your store free today and then give you my courses completely free. Now, I have an AI store builder that we've created that we've been using with Shopify now for about 2 years. And they pay me to let you use it free. It's going to build you an incredible store preloaded with 20 hot trending products that are yours to start selling, right? And I'm going to give you my courses completely free. No upsell funnel and all of that stuff. It's just a store that is built, that is optimized, that's ready to go, that is 100% yours. I don't own any of it. I don't take any of the sales. And Shopify pays me a commission. I'm awarded the most innovative commerce coach in the world by Shopify. They believe that I'm one of the best at not only building the stores, but teaching you how to use them. And that's why I have this deal. I don't have to sell you anything. Shopify is going to pay me. And here's the thing, if I don't perform 90 days from now, if you cancel your store, Shopify doesn't even pay me. You have to keep your store for 90 days for me to get paid. I'm highly incentivized to help you win with this store. And again, my services are free. All you have to do is simply sign up for a Shopify account. I can't get your Shopify account for you. And then go to the next page. You'll create a free account with our store builder. It'll ask you 2 or 3 questions like, what color do you want? It'll generate some AI banners for you. And then it'll connect to your new store. Boom. In 10 minutes, it's ready to go. The settings are set up. The products are preloaded. You're connected to a world-class dropship vendor that's here in the US. So you have 20 hot trending products that you can start selling right away. The courses and everything are unlocked, and you'll even have access to our live trainings that we do every week. And again, they're not sales trainings, they're not sales pitches. It's just meat and potatoes training. So if that sounds good to you, let me build your store right here, right now. In this moment, you're watching this video, now is the best time. Seize the moment. Click below. You're going to see it's easy. In 10 minutes, you're going to be ready to go. Your store is going to be live. You can show it off to your friends and your family, and you can hit the ground running. And again, it's completely free right now because Shopify is paying me to do it as one of the top partners of Shopify in the world. You can go look at my social media. Go to Adrian Morris on Instagram. Click on who follows me. Shopify follows me. The president of the company follows me. They watch everything that I do because I am a legit partner with them. And they want to make sure that I am giving out solid, epic, over-delivering services to you because they're backing me, right? They're endorsing me as a Shopify partner. So click below, get started. It truly is free, right? You're not going to spend a dime on my services. You just got to get your Shopify account. Click below, get started. The next 10 minutes, your store is up, it's running, products are loaded, you're connected to the vendor, you have all of our help, our support, our live trainings completely free. It's not going to be a $20 deal, it's not going to be a $99 deal like all these other people selling it. It is free. Click below, get started, let's go.
Starting a fashion brand shouldn't feel impossible. Other print-on-demand platforms claim to support creators. You can only build your dream fashion brand with TapStitch. Premium quality blanks, on-trend silhouettes, and a curated selection made to sell. Under $20, deliver in 10 days. And the quality, fire. Stop paying more for traditional print-on-demand suppliers for less. TapStitch has customizable, trending, well-made clothes, no minimums, and a speedy dropshipping. That's why top fashion brands trust us. You got a vision? TapStitch makes it real.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm going to try and keep this right on point so you guys can get going. My name's Dennis. I'm here with San Francisco State's speech and debate crew, our forensics crew here on SF State. And I'm hoping to engage you guys, both of you. It's very nice to meet you both in a fair, honest debate on pursuing truth. The points I'm going to hit today are going to be your podcast that you just made about us, about SF State, as well as some of your points on religion and immigration. And I like to believe that you're hopefully here in good conscience, trying to debate people fairly.
You gotta go faster, man. What is it?
I'm doing it. You called our campus an island of totalitarianism. You said you should see what these people believe, what they think, that SF State is much like Stalingrad or Leningrad, a Maoist-type concentration camp. Now look, I think they could have done a little better job with the architecture and all. But also, a campus that's totalitarian, as you said, this is literal. You said on your podcast this, you did. You said this, I'm talking to both of you. You said this on your you said this.
Okay, I said island of totalitarianism, but I agree with everything she said, so.
Anyways, on your podcast, you said this, and I don't think an island of totalitarianism would be hosting this event for you to come debate people fairly, no?
Last time I was here, they didn't.
They only
They
did
didn't.
because we threatened to sue them.
Yeah.
That's why we're here today. You know that? You know? Do you know she was literally locked in a room for hours because a bunch of trans zealots were threatening her life, and they canceled the event in a classroom, and the university did nothing to punish the people responsible, and instead sent out an email apologizing that her presence came on campus? What do you think about that?
I think that if people should do protest peacefully, try and debate with logic and facts like we're trying to do now, and that
So you would condemn what happened 2 years ago to me on this campus?
I think violence is condemnable without
want a
logic
hat?
and debate. But I'd like to bring up that I don't think sometimes you guys are here fairly when you come to debate people. I watched a debate that you had with Texas A&M where you brought up...
Come up. Come up. Come up. Come up. Come up. Come on. Come on up. Right here. This mic is for you. Come on up. Walk her up.
Look,
May I continue?
I'll say very briefly
Come up to the mic.
you. You said you had every intention of approaching this conversation of truth.
Absolutely.
Do you believe
Come
that
right up
men
here.
can get pregnant?
No, you're not. Come on up.
That's a complex issue that
It's
I don't
not
feel...
complex. It's not a complex issue.
Okay, I'm not going to answer that because you guys
Well, you
asked me
said
to be on
you're
brief
interested in the
topic.
truth. If you
Yes.
cannot say if men can or cannot get pregnant, you're clearly not interested in the truth.
I am. I don't want to give you an untruthful answer, so I'm going to continue to my next
I will
topic.
give you the answer. The only answer. It's no, men cannot get pregnant.
Okay, I will accept that as your answer. Now, I want to show to the crowd this photo. Anyone wants to look at that? Charlie Kirk showed at a debate at Texas A&M as proof that Kilmar Abrego Garcia, yes, he has it right there, is a criminal with very photoshopped, very... No, look at that.
It's called labeling. Do you know what a label is?
No, Trump
It is, when
used
you
that-
drink a water bottle, is that photoshopped when it labels something and describes it?
It was
There's a
photoshopped
difference
as
between
proof
labeling and
that-
hold on. These tattoos are not photoshopped. They're
No, they're not.
labeled. Do you know the difference between a labeling and a Photoshop?
I understand. Please don't be condescending to
Hold
me.
on
I have a
second.
photo of both
Hold on a second,
right
Mr.
here.
Mr. Debate Champion. If it's correct,
Sir, I'm trying to
hold on a
engage
second.
you in a
Let me finish
respectful
my
debate.
thought.
Please
Let me
reciprocate.
finish my thought. If it's true that there is nothing wrong with the tattoos on his hands, why did his girlfriend blur it out in all the images she posted?
Верните утраченные инвестиции. Если вы столкнулись с финансовыми потерями, свяжитесь с нами. Наша команда юристов проведет анализ ситуации и поможет вернуть средства на законных основаниях.
Привет, меня зовут Сергей. Хотел бы рассказать свою историю. Хотел приумножить свои накопления, зарегистрировался на одной из платформ. Вроде сначала даже деньги какие-то капали, а потом уже началось внесите еще, невозможен будет вывод.
I I cannot speak to what his girlfriend has or hasn't done.
Because you
all
know
I can
I'm
show
right.
is right here. He doesn't have MS-13 tattoos.
Literally right here.
Has that been proven? Is that factual?
Yes, it is.
Trump has used this labeling to try and prove that he's a part of...
Next question. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm part religion. Will you let me debate you on religion?
No,
Because
we got a long
I'm
line.
man of
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time.
I have a couple points that I want to talk about in illegal immigration. Is it okay if I say all of them with no interruptions? Okay, cool. So, first, illegal immigrants power our economy. They're 50% of U.S. farm workers, harvesting the food on our tables, and fill 70% of construction jobs in states like Texas. They pay $13 billion annually in taxes, including $2 billion to Social Security that they can't claim. Deporting them would slash agricultural output by $60 billion and raise food prices by 6%. Why gut our farms and wallets when these workers fuel our prosperity? That's my first point. Second point, they strengthen our communities with lower crime rates. So in Texas, undocumented immigrants have a 26% lower homicide conviction rates. So, which is 2.2 per 100,000 versus 3 for native-born citizens. Nationally, immigrants are incarcerated at half the rate of native-born, where it's 0.85% versus 1.71%. That's according to Bureau of Justice Statistics from 2019. So if safety is your goal, why deport people who make our streets safer? This is my third point. Mass deportation tears apart American families. Over 4.4 million U.S. citizens children have an undocumented parent, and in Texas, 1 in 7 kids lives in a mixed status household. Okay, this is my fourth point. Deportation is a fiscal nightmare. Removing 11 million people would cost $315 to $400 billion, more than the entire Homeland Security budget, and shrink our GDP by 1.7 trillion over 10 years. And this is my last point. Our immigration system is broken, pushing people to cross illegally. Visa waits Mexicans can exceed 20 years, and the asylum blockage is 1.3 million cases, with hearings 4 to 6 years out. Okay.
You done?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, so without looking at the phone, look at me. What
Sure.
should the penalty be for breaking into America?
I think there should be a system where it's more merit-based. So if this person...
No, penalty. So what is the penalty? So what should happen to you?
It's not a felony, it's a misdemeanor.
No, it is. That's not true. It's 8 U.S.C. 1312. You can look it up right now.
It's a felony if it's done twice. If
No,
you try to cross
that's
the
not
border,
correct.
that is correct.
That is not correct.
I Googled it, dude.
To illegally go across the southern border with the well intent to come into harbor yourself into the interior of the United States, the violation of 8 U.S.C. 1312,
Okay.
which is a felony in the federal criminal code. Now, it can be enforced as a misdemeanor, or it can be upwards to 5 years in prison.
Okay.
Now, I want to know, since it's a felony, law in the
Sure.
books, 8 U.S.C. 1312,
Yeah.
what should the penalty be?
Well, in my opinion, these kinds of laws are usually they're what do you call it? They're sorry. Usually the sorry. Wait, sorry. Can I check my phone real quick? I apologize. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
What should the penalty be
Okay.
for someone that breaks or comes into America illegally? What should the penalty be?
I think there should be a merit system where the people. Okay, the
Not
penalty.
answer.
All right, let's.
That's
the penalty.
not the answer. It's a very simple moral and legal question.
Okay,
What
sure.
should the penalty be if you come into America illegally?
Okay, so since it's a misdemeanor, not a felony, misdemeanors
I
are.
just told you it's not 8. You can look up on
That's
your
not
chat
true.
GPT what is
Yeah,
8
yeah.
USC. Look up what is 8 USC 1312.
No, I know. I've already looked it up.
Yes,
when it's your second time crossing the border illegally, then it becomes a felony.
It can be, and it is enforced as a felony, and it usually is done as a misdemeanor citation because no one has the stones to do 20 million felony applications.
Okay.
So I just want to ask,
Yeah.
what should the penalty be then for someone that comes into this country illegally?
Usually there's 3 ways that go about this when there's a penalty. There's either like a fine, or there's some kind of public service that this person does, or you send them back. But
send them back. I agree. That's what we should do.
Okay. So this is interesting. So one of the statistics that I read said that illegal immigrants don't cause as much like they don't break the law as often as people who are native born.
Well, hold on, time out.
That is statistic.
But
time out.
But
dude.
every single one of them are criminals. They're all criminals.
Okay, sure. By law.
Well, hold
by
on.
law.
No,
okay,
no, no.
no, by law, of course. Of course they are.
Wait, so
I
if
agree that
they commit less crime and they're all criminals, wait a
Okay,
second.
so
By
you're basing
definition,
it- yeah.
they all have broken the law by being here, and they break
Okay.
the law every day by staying here because you're
Okay.
actually not allowed to stay here either. Do you know that?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
every
yeah.
day you're here, you're actually continually breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
You can't break in or harbor. That's what the federal law says.
Okay.
So by breaking in, it's not just the only law they broke. Every second you remain here, you're also
Yeah.
breaking the law. So that statistic is invalidated by just them breathing here. They're breaking the law.
No, of course not. Of course not. So, of course, it makes sense for them when they're here. They're breaking the law because they're illegal immigrants, obviously. But once they're of course. So once they're here, once they are here, what kind of harm are they actually doing? When you look at the numbers statistically,
lot.
No, that's not true. Okay,
Black
so look,
wages have
in
gone
Texas,
down.
Okay, in Texas,
DUIs have gone up dramatically.
Try not to interrupt, bro.
Well,
okay,
hold
so
on. I'm interjecting, and I let you go uninterrupted with your whole soliloquy,
true, yeah,
right?
yeah, thank you.
So let me ask you a question now.
Okay.
So, if it is correct
Yeah.
that illegal aliens commit less crimes, which of course it's not correct.
That is correct. Look it up. In
but
Texas, they made a study in 2019. 26% are
is
lower.
any crime? It's just not correct. But I'm
That
not going
is
to debate that.
correct.
It's. I just proved it at its face because they commit a crime by being here every day. That is a crime.
Okay, once they are here, what kind of crimes are they committing? Which is
Okay, well
they're 26%.
Okay. Do you know the name
less.
Laken Riley?
No, educate me.
Oh, you don't?
If you're a music producer, you've probably dreamed about turning your passion into a real career, getting millions of streams, landing placements with major artists, and earning a full-time income. But right now, maybe your reality feels different. Endless YouTube tutorials, countless courses, and generic advice. And you're still left with unfinished tracks, amateur-sounding mixes, and no clear path forward. That's exactly why we created the Unison Mentorship Program. This is not another cookie cutter course. This is an exclusive, personalized 8-week mentorship. We're talking a track record of over 6 figures of income in music, over 100 million plays on all DSPs, and placements with artists like DaBaby, Gucci Mane, and Lil Skies. We had tracks signed to Sony, Warner, Monster Cat, and Universal, as well as 7 multi-platinum records. If you're accepted into the Unison Mentorship Program, every single week you'll get a personalized, private one-on-one session tailored specifically to your goals and your tracks, and unlimited track feedback through direct messages whenever you need it. Plus, you'll join our exclusive mentorship community, connecting directly with other producers.
No.
Do you know? Wow. Do you know the name Rachel Morin?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Wait, educate me. What kind of...
Laken Riley was a girl at the University of Georgia.
Okay.
There was a peeping Tommy, illegal alien, that was deported 5 times prior, and Biden kept on letting him back in. He hunted her down, raped her, sodomized her, and murdered her on a hiking trail, University of Georgia.
Okay, so
Rachel,
one person doesn't represent
hold
all
on a
illegal
second.
immigrants.
Every person who is killed by an illegal alien is one that should not happen. Every single one.
Of course, and also the ones that are native born.
Everyone.
As
and
well
so
as
that's
the
the
ones who are
point.
native born.
Is that it's not a matter
as
of the
well as
rate.
people who are native born.
The rate, even if I accept your premise, which is incorrect, the rate is irrelevant. The number is what's relevant. There should be 0 illegal aliens. There should be 0 Americans being killed by illegals. Not to mention there's 6 other problems with the illegal aliens. They steal Social Security numbers. They depress wages. They are heavily involved. By the way, not to mention, a lot of people that cross on the southern border are also smuggling girls, weapons, and drugs alongside the southern border when they come. It's the largest slavery operation in American history that many illegal aliens help make possible on the southern border. And I guess the final question I'll have is, should a government serve its citizens first and foremost?
Yeah, of course. Well, okay, there's been many people who are like very political leaders who have said that this place is built off of immigrants.
Oh, is it? Wait, hold on. Let's think about that.
Sure.
First of all, it's legal, not illegal. But was America founded by immigrants or settlers?
Settlers.
That's not an immigrant.
Yeah. Okay.
An
Well, that's not my
immigrant
point. My point is that
just
people
brought
who,
up the nation built by immigrants.
Yeah,
we're actually not.
Because the political leaders have said that this place is built.
Yeah, and they're
from
wrong.
They're wrong. Political leaders are wrong. George W. Bush is wrong. All these political leaders who have built America.
By the way, the first person to say that was.
How is that wrong? When illegal immigrants make, they grow the economy.
Okay,
Statistically,
allow me
studies.
again. Allow me to build it out for you.
Sure.
Immigrants have helped at times in American history, but we are first and foremost a nation founded by settlers. Immigrants come to a country already built. Settlers come to a barren place and build something new.
Right.
This land was barren when people came. In the 1840s gold rush, this was not an easy place to live.
Yeah.
California was not exactly industrialized. There was not immigrants coming west to California. Those were settlers building a new place around, Western values. Finally, I would just ask the question, do you see a moral distinction between a legal immigrant and an illegal immigrant?
Well, the argument is that they're cutting in line. Like, their argument is that they're cutting in line in the 20-year process that it would take for someone to cross illegally.
It's not 20, but yeah.
At most, it's 20. At most, it's 20. Right now, there's around, 1.2 million people who are currently waiting that would take 6 to 7 years for a hearing.
And by the way, no one has a right to come to this country, just to be clear.
Let me stay on track of what I was going to say. Okay, so people who come here, usually, almost all the time when they come here, they benefit society. They benefit society. There's studies that have done this.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but overall in general.
But no,
when you look overall in general,
fundamentally disagree with that.
You can't disagree with a fact.
Hold on. Do you think Ilhan Omar has enriched the United States of America?
I don't know who.
Do you think Rashida Tlaib? I mean, I could go through person by person.
Sorry, I don't know these people. Are these people who have are illegal immigrants that have caused harm?
Yeah, if you don't know, I don't mean to pick on you. It's fine.
Okay.
But I guess the final question is, do you have any concern that there are too many people coming into this country and we're a nation of strangers, not a nation of neighbors?
If the people who are coming are creating America, making it more growing, like the economy is growing, then what harm is that doing? Especially if the people who are coming are not...
Because we're more than an economy, though, aren't we? We're a culture. We're a language.
Yeah,
we're
of course.
People.
Okay, so let's talk about that front. When they come here, they don't have any kind of... They're not committing as more crimes than the people who are already here.
Again,
that is a statistic.
We've already dispelled that, but
that is not. You can't dispel a statistic.
Let's take California. Do you think there's anything wrong that a majority of young people in California speak Spanish, not English?
Wait, sorry. Can you see the?
Do you think there's anything wrong or troubling to the fact that a majority of people under the age of 30 here in the state speak Spanish, not English? Is there a problem with that?
Well, yeah. Everyone should be able to have a ability to communicate with the rest of the crowd. So I don't know what the big issue of that.
See, I think it's a huge problem when we have a nation where you can't communicate with your fellow neighbor.
Simple solution. Teach them how to speak English. What is your point?
Yeah, and our schools don't do that, actually. And also, have a better solution.
Yeah.
Don't import a bunch of people that don't speak English.
You mean importing people who actually grow the economy?
Well, but
who don't...
I reject your premise.
That's not a premise. That's a study that's been done.
Do you know what a premise is? I don't actually care as much about economic growth because we're one nation under GDP. We're not one nation under GDP. We're a nation under God.
Yeah.
And when we lose social cohesion, and you import a bunch of people that don't share our values, that don't necessarily always assimilate, that's a major and serious problem. And we are a people first and foremost with a creed, and that creed is falling apart. Mass migration has not helped that creed. Yes, they might buy more trinkets. They might help depress wages. Mass migration, of course, can help.
All good things, all great things for America.
They help major corporations, but you know what they also do? They keep down the wages of working people. If you are a plumber, yes, of course. If you think about it, if you're a plumber, electrician, or a welder, and you have to compete against someone from Nicaragua who's willing to do it for $5 less an hour, that depresses the wages of the American citizen.
Right. Yeah, so there's been studies that have done that also counteract that. Illegal immigrants.
Well, let's use our reason.
Let's use our reason. Our studies.
Let's use our reason.
How about statistics?
How about our reason? So we've had mass migration for 20 years. Have wages gone up?
I don't know.
No, they haven't actually. So forget your studies. For 10 years we've had 30 million people come into America. Wages have gone down dramatically.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason why.
All right, let's see if this Kittle thing is actually fast. Let's pick a trending template. This one looks good. All right, let's change the text, fonts, maybe the color scheme, and we're done. We're gonna upload this today and see if it actually sells. If this works, I'm never opening Illustrator again. Okay, so it sold in 6 hours, which is wild. Now let me show you how this works so you can do it too. Here's the exact system successful sellers use. First, forget the blank canvas. Go straight to Kittle templates that already sell. See this trending now section? These are designs people are actually buying right now. I'll take this modern template. Watch how fast this is. Swap Adventure Awaits to Mama Needs Coffee. Boom, trending niche. Update the colors to what's hot, those earthy tones everyone wants. That's it, professional design, ready to sell. Now watch this. Same template becomes dog mom, plant mom, cat mom. I just created 10 sellable designs while others are still sketching. Export, upload, done. That's simple. My first sale came hours after switching to Kittle templates. Thousands of templates all ready for commercial use. Updated weekly. Look, whether you're seeing others make thousands while you struggle, or you've wasted months months on original designs, the solution is the same. Kittle's templates are how smart sellers actually make money with print on demand. Start making some real money with print on demand now and try Kittle for free today.
It's making me make all kinds of faces right now. It's so crazy.
What up, y'all? I'm going to take you through a track I just made using Native Instruments' Massive X Player. It's super easy and super quick to get some great sounding results. Massive X Player is completely free, so you can go ahead and download it right now if you want to follow along and play around with these presets as well. All right, let's get to it. So here we have a beat I made. Everything except for a drum break of mine that I brought in was using Massive X Player. So let's talk about the XY pad, which is called Morpher. You gotta understand, it's infinite possibilities within a single preset. It's pretty incredible how much you can modulate and shape the sound just by moving around on the XY pad. So let's check this out. And the beauty within this XY pad is that you can actually take a snapshot. If you find a sound that you really like, say we're somewhere in this area here, and we really like this sound, we can just snapshot it to our one corner, knowing that that's exactly the preset we want when it hits that corner, if we're using the animator or if we want it to just be brought back to that. Next up, we have this amazing preset here that I love called Cloudy Night. And the two together, I feel, just sound so beautiful. Let's bring in the drums. Another thing that's really cool about this is how quickly you can just randomize sounds with these 4 dice in the corners. You can change it instantly and kind of keep shifting through randomized options. Say we like that one, and we want to change this corner now. That's neat. Then we got our bass. This bass is crazy. Foundations from the Bass Music Essentials expansion. I mean, the moment I clicked it, I instantly was feeling it. And the beauty is, again, the XY pad, you can instantly shape your sound without really diving too deep into synthesis and having to spend so much time figuring all that out, and you can get straight to making music. If we turn on the animator and say we do the circle, you can time it out whether you want it synced or not synced. It can add so much motion and life into your sound so quickly. The next layer I have here is a preset called Filter Horn. This one is wild to me because it's super expressive and it can get crazy so quickly, which is amazing because you can kind of tame the sound too by using the XY pad. Let's try this. Oh my God. It's making me make all kinds of faces right now. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I really love that. This is probably one of my favorite presets in this Massive X player library. One thing I really love is that you can actually turn off the macros. So say we didn't want this reverb or delay, and we just wanted the sound itself without any of those effects. This morphing art preset is crazy. So let's turn off the reverb and the delay macro. And maybe we want to turn off the noise macro. And let's randomize this corner to see. Bring in the noise. And bring in the delay. And that reverb. It's pretty incredible how quickly you can shape a sound to your liking and keep messing with it and keep shifting it around. While we have this morphing ARP sound that I'm really digging right now, let's explore some of these animator options. So right now we have the circle. Okay. So let's try this. And this is really going through that XY pad. And maybe we want to reverse it. And speed it up. Let's go back to slow. And hit one of these shapes right now. I think I want to hit this one. We're going to randomize. All within one preset. We had so much motion and movement within that sound. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the beat that I made today and this quick walkthrough of some of the presets that come included with Massive X Player. I've been exploring this plugin all day and I really can't get enough. It just is constant inspiration for me. Having something that's modulating like that and the ease of just this XY pad is something that is too fun. Make sure you go check it out. Remember, it's free to download. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Peace.
Okay. Okay.
So what I encourage you to do, just because there's a study that confirms, you should use your reason and look actually at self-evident truths. Be like, huh, does that make sense? Can you name
Statistics are self-evident
Well,
truths.
not always. Statistics are
Not
very
always?
misleading. Yes. Like, for example, I could say, did you know that 600 people a year die because of seatbelts? Well, that's a misleading statistic because over 100,000 lives are saved by seatbelts. That's an incomplete statistic.
Wait, okay, so where is the, so that's a gray area. So where's the gray area where people are talking about where 26% of illegal immigrants who come here commit less crimes than native born?
Okay, we have, how many times have you been over this? That's just not correct.
Well,
it's
that
not
is
true.
correct. That is correct.
Every single crime. It doesn't matter
this
about the
is a study
rate.
that was done in Texas, the most diverse, second most diverse state.
Every crime an illegal commits is one that should never have happened. It
Okay.
is a period.
Yeah, of course,
they
of
should
course.
not be here. So
I
I don't
agree.
care about the rate. The rate is irrelevant. So let me just ask one final
The rate
question.
is relevant.
Someone broke into the country and cut in line. What should happen to them?
Well, they're given. Ideally, there's a system. Ideally, there's a system that's merit-based, where these people then become part of the citizen. Like they become a legal citizen.
Yeah, I mean, we have clarity but not agreement. I say deport them all back to their country of
I don't
origin
think
and
that's
put
not
Americans first.
That's not an appropriate solution. When
Well, the
no.
American people voted for it, and it is appropriate.
It isn't appropriate because most of the people that do come here illegally contribute positively to
Again,
society.
they-
Not
they
again,
are-
dude. Statistically,
I have
everything
been
backs
through-
this.
You're not
Everything
listening to
backs
anything I'm saying, and that's fine. They take jobs from Americans. They depress wages. They steal Social Security numbers. They commit a crime every single day that they're here. They flood our public schools. They flood our social services. They flood our hospitals. They are a burden on the taxpayer. They should go back and make their own country great again and apply and become a legal immigrant if they want to live here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next question, yeah.
Hi. Okay, I'm just here to talk about abortion, but my first question was, why should women who are raped have to give birth to that baby?
Yeah, I think it's as simple as, do you believe life matters or not?
I mean, is it because it has a heartbeat when it is conceived?
Well,
Exactly.
Right.
So-
So what is the question you're asking?
I'm saying that
My question to you is, do you believe that life matters?
I do believe life matters after the person is born. Or the
Oh,
child.
after the person's born. So okay, so
Here we go.
if Riley were to be pregnant, or if any woman were to be pregnant right now, and there's a baby that's 20 weeks developed, is that baby alive?
No.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix. Now this whole flow is a conversation, so your words actually build your website. I'm going for a store, and after a free-flowing conversation, I get this detailed site brief. And just like that, my first draft is ready. Now that's dope. Next, you can really get in there and style it your way. Here's the fun part. You can regenerate this whole thing over and over, or you can tweak something specific, like your layout. Let me describe what I had in mind. Yeah, that's fire. If there was ever a time to speak life into your dreams, it's right now using the Wix AI website builder.
Creating custom clothing labels with TapStitch is easy. Go to your branding tab, choose your label size and background, upload your artwork, submit for review, and done. Once approved, you can apply your label to any design, synced products, new drafts, even items already in your cart. Set your default label, and every new drop is automatically branded. No extra steps, just better branding built in. Clean, custom, and totally yours. Every label is sewn directly into the garment, no shortcuts, no stickers. Paired with TapStitch's premium blanks and sharp printing, your designs are built to last. Front to back, inside, and out. Your garment tells one story. Yours. Want your pieces to feel more pro? Start here. Add custom clothing labels to your next drop and put your brand exactly where it belongs.
No.
I mean, not physically. Is it? I mean, it's.
Wait,
can
so it has a
breathe on its
heartbeat,
own?
it can hear the mom's voice, has its own fingerprint, its own DNA, it can empty its own bladder. What about it is not alive?
The fact if it doesn't have a heartbeat.
At 20 weeks, it does. So its heartbeat start at 6 weeks, right? So I'm talking about a 20-week baby, 20-week-year-old baby. How is that not alive?
I mean, I guess we see it different ways, but I mean, in how I see it, you have to cut an umbilical cord to get that child out, and I feel like if that child is still attached to the mother, the mother has to eat to feed the baby. If the child is still living on the baby inside of the mother, it should not it isn't alive.
Well, a mother has to feed a baby months and months and months and months after the baby is already like on this planet.
But the mother is feeding the baby. This baby, when it's inside, are they feeding?
So what about someone on a feeding tube? If you don't feed them through their feeding tube, are they not worthy of life?
How old's that person? Are they born? Like, have they been born yet?
But why does the moral worth of a human being matter whether they're born or not?
Probably, well, the point that I was trying to get out with it, the point that I was trying to get out with it is that women shouldn't have to be forced to give birth to that child if they don't want to. That's the point I was just trying to get out there.
Okay, let's say I have 2 ultrasounds here. One of the
Show the
baby,
dolphin fetus again.
one of them is a baby conceived in rape.
Okay.
The other one is a baby conceived in a loving relationship. Which one is which?
I mean, it's up to them. The thing
No,
is
but
that
which one is which? I can't tell the difference. Help me out.
I'm not saying that there's a difference between those two.
Exactly. So they both deserve human rights.
No, I'm saying that if a mother doesn't want to give birth to her child, she shouldn't have to.
Okay, so should you be able to commit murder of a newborn if you don't want the baby anymore?
No, you would.
Why?
You
Well, then what's the
wouldn't-
difference?
You wouldn't have the child if you didn't want it. That's the point of abortion.
Well, hold on.
I will.
I hope you never have an abortion, actually. Abortion's really
Well,
bad.
it's my body, my choice. That's the thing.
Well, hold on. If it's your body, your choice, and I'll let Riley chime
So
in.
is it your choice because you're a man and you get to make those
Well,
decisions for
hold
me?
on. Time out.
Yeah.
You want to say that to Riley? Riley's a woman, too. So say the same statement to her.
I'm
Say
not
the same
saying-
statement to her.
But I'm.
No, your logic must be equally applicable to all sexes. Say that same statement
I'm
to her.
saying that she can.
Say
have,
the same statement to her.
I'm not saying that statement to you. I'm saying that you as a
You
man.
just said it to me.
No, I'm saying you as a man should not have. You should have the rights to choose whether I can get an
Okay,
abortion or not.
does she have the rights to choose
Yeah,
for
she
you?
does have the right. She doesn't have no one has the right to choose for me.
Okay,
but
so it's not a
me.
man thing. That's what I'm saying.
It is a man because Trump is in charge and he is the one. He said that he is the reason that Roe v. Wade is overturned. He said
Praise
that.
the Lord, Roe versus Wade is overturned.
In what way? Like it also kills other women and
You
children.
know we have more babies being born in Texas than ever before since the abolition of abortion. Isn't that a good thing?
And that's why we have such a high population. That's why we have
No, we
12
don't.
million people on Earth. Yes, we do.
We have a declining population. We have a population collapse. What are you talking about? The world is on the verge of a population extinction event. We don't have enough babies. We're below replacement levels in the West.
So you want to make women have
Not
babies?
make. Okay, let's go through fundamental biology. How do people get pregnant?
I know how a woman gets pregnant.
So if you decide to have sex, you might win a certain prize.
What if you don't decide?
I'm sorry, what?
What if you do not decide to have sex and you get raped?
Again, it's still a human life. You don't get to kill a baby just because a human life occurs. Something evil, rape, does not get better when another evil action occurs. And I will say this, somebody in this audience was conceived in rape. Can you tell me who?
It doesn't matter who. That's
Well,
the thing.
that's the thing, is they're all human.
I'm not saying that they're not a human life. I'm saying the mother should have the
Okay.
choice whether she
Got
wants
it.
to
No,
give
but
birth
let's.
to that
You
human
said they're not a human life, so they are a human life. Therefore, an extermination of human life is called what?
Murder?
So yes, abortion is murder, even in the case of rape, and that's a
it's an
hard thing to
embryo,
internalize. Doesn't matter. So,
You're
but
saying it's a child, but it's not.
what
physically a
species
child.
is it?
It is a human, but
Okay.
but is it a? Has the child
So,
formed yet?
but hold on, you're not fully formed. Riley's not fully formed. I'm not fully formed. We actually go through this process of development our entire life. An embryo is just one stage upon human development. It doesn't mean you get less rights just because you're earlier in the human development scale.
I mean, I feel like I do have more rights than a baby that is in someone's
Why does your age give you more rights over an embryo?
Let's say you want to buy or sell Bitcoin. Just open the eToro app. Click Discover, choose your crypto, and click Trade. Set the amount, and hit Buy. And you're done. So, Bitcoin? Try buy and sell it the eToro way. Start today.
Why do you have the ability to eliminate a smaller human? Why is that
It's
morally
not that
consistent?
I'm not saying that it's better because it is a smaller human. I'm saying that, oh my God, I'm saying that women themselves should have the choice to get.
Baby has no choice.
Yeah, that's
Thank
why
you.
I should have the choice.
Riley, do you want to take this as a woman?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a flawed logic to insinuate that if you have a heartbeat, these certain qualifications, that is what determines human rights. The moment you're conceived, you are a human, right? We all just agreed that the species is a Homo sapien. You are a human at that point. That's when human rights begin. So I think it's ironic that the other side, who touts human rights, who claims to fight for human rights, they don't believe those belong to children. And as a woman, I believe every single life is worthy. Every life matters.
Okay, well. Well, I mean, there are so many women out there who do get pregnant, and because of laws that there are in place that they cannot have an abortion, and they have to give birth to that baby. Many women that are pregnant, I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying some of them are drug addicts, some of them just physically can't financially keep a child. What is the solution?
Adoption.
But the thing is that, do you know how many kids are actually adopted from adoption agencies?
Do you know how many women struggle with infertility who would love to adopt a baby?
Exactly. 25% of these kids get adopted before they are 18. And the kids that do not get adopted are let go from the adoption agency, and they do not know what they're doing. Not that they don't know what they're doing.
There certainly could be reforms within the foster care community and within the adoption system, but there are plenty and plenty and plenty of families of women who are hoping to be able to adopt because they can't conceive on their own.
But 25%? Only 25%.
Then there should be a reform
not
within
for a lack
the
of willingness,
adoption.
though.
What are you going to do about
There's
it?
not a
If you want to say that we cannot have an abortion, but many children are not finding homes until they're 18, and a lot of these kids, once they're let go from adoption agencies, become homeless, become drug addicts, because you say that we cannot have abortion, but you are not doing anything to make
Hold
it
on,
right.
but first of all, number
Yeah,
one.
neither are you.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm 16.
Okay. So again, the essence of this, again, and we'll wrap this up. There's twice as many people on the adoption waiting list than there are actually being adopted. Twice as many. So the adoption waiting list is very long. You just have to make it easier to adopt.
Adoption reform.
Well, then that'd mean that only 50% of these kids would be adopted, and there are still 50% of these children which are.
I think she missed.
I think you missed the point. That's okay. Thank you for your time. We'll get to the next question.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hello. Sorry if I'm not as articulate as I could be. It's weird to see you guys in person. I am kind of interested in the wordplay, specifically Charlie, because I've seen the most of you online, but also Candice, I'm afraid I have nothing to ask, but specifically Charlie. A lot of the wordplay you use, and a lot of the sources that you draw on, like the statistics, you're very good at just ramping off statistics and throwing them into the person that you're arguing. I was wondering, where do you collect your sources, and do you make them easily accessible?
Of course. Would you like to name an example that I can cite for you now?
I don't question that the things that you're saying are factual. It's more how they are phrased and how they are put to us. So, for example, the thing that you've just said now about abortion, could you quickly remind me so I don't trip over my own
Sure,
words?
I'll do the first one. I say, a celebration of a pregnancy, why do we call that event a baby shower, not a fetus shower?
Right, so that in itself sounds like, oh, right, well, that means there's a cultural acceptance of the idea that it's a baby pre-birth. But that's just a linguistic cultural way. So I'm pro-choice, for example, but I would still call it a baby shower. That doesn't mean I culturally accept the idea that it's a baby pre-birth. I'm just using a linguistic standard.
There's deeper meaning there. Let's play this out. It's fun. So if the individual that has the baby shower decides right after the baby shower to have an abortion, what is that inside of her called?
I don't want to do this, if that's all right. I don't want to do abortion.
I know, but you see all of a sudden your argument
can I use a different
up?
example of abortion is kicking up too much dust?
Say that again.
Can I use a different example of a fact?
That's fine,
okay,
that's
so
fine. Perfectly fine.
The first thing I saw with you in was your political debate with Hassan.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I saw of you. And you said, you'll probably still remember it, but it was that, the worst 10 cities in America were run by Democrats.
Yeah, the poorest, most murderous. Yeah.
Right. So I looked it up because I wanted to read up on it, and there wasn't a source in the video mirror I'd seen. And that was correct. But it was also correct that of the top 10 cities, most of them were Democrat, and across the board, on average, most cities are Democrat. So the fact that you took it out of the entirety of the fact, which is that most cities are Democrat, the top best cities are Democrat, and the worst cities are Democrat, and you chose to only say that the worst cities are Democrat.
Top best cities are Democrat?
Well, so he means the most he means the wealthiest.
In the same way that, yeah. So the study that I found that mirrored your statistic said that.
So cities tend to be more, urban areas tend to be more to the left, just as they are. But when Republican mayors are actually allowed the chance to govern, the results are remarkable. And so let's juxtapose cities versus states, or even if you want to extrapolate what my argument was really talking about. In the laboratory of democracy theory, which we all believe in, which is when certain states are allowed to have juxtaposed policies and contrast against each other, you see huge differences. So the most prosperous, most job-creating, most entrepreneurial states are ones with Republican governors and low tax, low regulation type policies. And there is a correlation between the most murderous, the most dangerous, and the most honestly hopeless areas, and Candace grew up in one of them, are almost always dominated by Democrats. But when those Republican policies are actually allowed to be instituted, those communities turn around quite quickly. So.
And another one was that you said, I think it was the life expectancy in Cuba was 15 years lower than that in the United States.
Yeah, if the government doesn't kill you, right.
Right, democide. But I looked it up as well, and I found there was no information on that. And in fact, the Google definition, which draws on, it cites many different studies, and it fills it all in and it pulls it all together, and it chooses the most reasonable response that's backed up by facts and logic. It said that it was actually a year older than the US. So how do you, especially when you're, like, I think it's called galloping, when you're throwing so many points in a debate, do you not think it's unfair and unreasonable and maybe at points even manipulative to be phrasing things in a certain way that might be, when beyond scrutiny, it's like me who had to Google all of these statistics, which pan out to be not as obtrusive and anti-left as you say they are? Do you not think that's at the worst incompetent, and at the best incompetent, and at the worst malicious?
So you're entitled to your own opinion, not entitled to your own facts. Let's talk about the Cuban one. I reject the own Cuban government's health statistics completely and totally. I don't believe the socialist governments of Cuba's health statistics that they submit to the World Health Organization or the United Nations, because objective, independent analysis of their own health standards are nearly 20 to 30 years behind life expectancy that their own government produces. So what you're looking at is corroborated by people that want it to be true. And we can have a 30-minute discussion over whether you believe the Cuban health statistics, but the answer is, show me another statistic of anything I've talked about in the 300 hours that Candace and I have done, public speaking. Everything I talk about, everything I do is rooted in years of research and backing and data, and I'm happy to talk about each specific one. I don't want to monopolize the time here, but I reject the premise and the insinuation that somehow I'm being reckless, because facts are not reckless. In fact, it's the basis of why we're here and why what we believe.
You successfully pivoted away from the intention of my question, which wasn't the factual nature of the statements you were saying. It's the way that you phrased them.
So I phrased them effectively, and that should be a problem?
No, it's not about effectively as defined by you, as in it promotes your agenda.
You pivoted quickly away from the abortion thing.
Can I please finish my...
Happy to, yeah.
I pivoted away from the abortion thing, not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because it made me uncomfortable to do so.
Do you think do you think it's effective the way I worded it? Because maybe it made you think a way you never had to think before?
Copilot, help me tailor my pitch to a more casual tech client. Translated into Spanish. Your technology drives business. Que nunca se detenga.
Muy bien.
Gracias.
Why can't I make any changes without an admin approval? Why?
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform, you have the power. Not IT, not admins. You're in charge. So you can tailor work exactly how you love to do it. For example, you can add custom fields and choose how you like to view your work without needing help from IT. That's why over 225,000 customers love to use Monday.com. Because you have the freedom to build it exactly how you picture it. The first work platform you'll love to use. Monday.com.
The point is, like, I could do this for every. I could do that for every issue.
It's more that, so you say, like, oh, we shouldn't trust the Cuban health statistics because they've got an agenda to promote, and that probably makes a lot of sense. But similarly, there are people whose prime objective, as if they're still stuck in McCarthyism, is to obliterate any form of socialism and communism as an opposition to free market capitalism. And so, similarly, in the same way that we shouldn't trust the authorities in Cuba.
If the root of this is capitalism versus socialism, is there an example where socialism is really thriving and worked as a concept? This is what I don't understand. It's weird to me when people come up to this discussion and it's like, at your core, you're just what, defending socialism, defending Cuba, defending, what are you defending?
That's not the root of my question.
I get what you're saying is phrasing things in a way that maybe aren't fair because you could find something on the internet that maybe supports communism and socialism. That's essentially what you're saying, right?
No, you're mischaracterizing me, actually.
Okay, how am I mischaracterizing you?
You're mischaracterizing me because you've generalized what I'm saying, which is that I've looked into talking points that Charlie's raised. I've found the exact studies that he's referenced and know that they do because they actually mirror the things that he's said verbatim.
So they're cited.
And
So I do use studies, is what you're saying.
I never said you didn't, Charlie.
I'm not sure where you're coming from.
That's why I'm saying I'm not mischaracterizing you. I get what you're saying. You're saying, Charlie, he's saying that you say facts, but there are also alternative facts that would maybe present socialism and communism in a better way.
You're saying it's unfair because of the way he's saying them, not because of...
Because from what I'm getting, you're saying that
he's
used...
called a debate.
Yeah, essentially what you're saying is he's too good at presenting his argument. Because you're saying... No, let me finish. You've just said, you went and looked over the things that Charlie said, you found them to be backed by studies, which would mean they were factual, so he's not lying, he's not mischaracterizing or using wrong data. Let me finish. You've been allowed to talk for a while now. And then, but the way he presents him in an argument when you say he's galloping maybe make his opponent afraid to talk, or I don't know what it does
Basically
to them.
wants
However,
to argue with himself.
The bottom line is you're saying Charlie's using facts. I don't get how that can be a disagreement. That Charlie uses facts in his arguments.
You're saying that he's not presenting other facts that would defeat his debate. Yeah. So you're basically saying he should do also the job of Charlie Kirk and whoever's debating him, which is just ludicrous. At the same time. That's
essentially what you're saying, is that Charlie should say, okay, you should look at a socialist country and say Venezuelan people are killing their pets to eat food, etc. However, in this situation, they had really good weather and it was sunny, etc. I don't understand how you want him as one side of the... Yeah, I'm going to finish.
And by the way, another good use of this time would have been if you actually had the alternate facts and just debated Charlie.
Just said yes. Instead,
while you were here, as opposed to debating the concept.
There's no point having your own
Charlie
opposition without actually giving the facts yourself to come and debate, rather than saying he uses facts too well.
Yeah, final point, and I'll let my attorneys answer the rest of the question.
Again, you've mischaracterized what I'm truly saying here, which is that you're not trying to genuinely convince people. You seem to be, from the presentation of the facts that I've given you as an example, phrasing truths in a very specific way and choosing to ignore things that present it in a more balanced way to basically trick people, right? That's no. Please let me finish. Can I finish? Please let me finish.
They argue their opinion.
Look, fact. No, seriously. Hear me out, man.
Facts are unfair.
Facts, right? Facts don't care about your feelings, right? Facts are objective statehoods, right? But the way that you choose to present them, right? It's like saying if a statistic is 68%, you can't just rearrange the 68 to say 86, right? Hear me out, because that is just lying.
You could rearrange it to say 32, no? You could rearrange it to say 32, the other way around. Those are both factual statements. If you say 68 times...
Do I need the mic? I can hear me. Oh, sure. The way that you're choosing to... the way that you're choosing to talk about statistics, the things that you're choosing to neglect that present things in a more balanced way, indicates that your objective here isn't to convince people based on the whole truth, but in fact to play off of people's inability to quickly respond by asking for sources. Like if you provided a source, I'm struggling to articulate this, but it's just, with the example I gave you about the Democrat cities, right? That's a pretty condemning statistic that the worst cities, to summarize, are mostly Democratic.
Yeah,
but you didn't present the whole statistic, and that was a very purposeful choice. If you look up that study,
Charlie's not going to debate himself. I don't this is very
because
confusing
it's not
to
a game,
me.
Candace, is
But
it?
no,
It's
but
not
you
a
just
game.
said when he goes on campuses and he debates with people that he's not presenting facts that would try to destroy the fact that he just gave. That's the
No, they're the
concept of a
same
debate.
facts, Candace. I don't see what you're
That's
not
why it's
understanding
called,
here.
but that's what
They're the
it's
same
called
facts.
a debate.
Because it's not about, the point of a debate, if you care about humanity, if you care about improving people's welfare, should be to present objective facts based on independent studies and decide which is what Charlie does, but choosing to neglect the entirety of the factual statement.
Okay, I think this is now turning into like a Yelp review of Charlie Kirk, and I'm not really getting
because
the
he's
point
an
of it.
influential man, and his practices, and
I get
everyone's
it.
practices
I
need to be
get it, but I'm
scrutinized,
saying
and
that
yours
this
are
is-
semantically
I wish you
deceitful.
actually had.
closing, though.
I wish you actually would just debate Charlie. That would I think would be more
Yeah,
productive
in closing,
for everybody
I do
here.
appreciate you coming up and saying this. I will issue a challenge to the world. Anyone can come prepared with any hundreds of pages of documents to debate me, and I wish them well. Thank you.
Starting a fashion brand shouldn't feel impossible. Other print-on-demand platforms claim to support creators. You can only build your dream fashion brand with TapStitch. Premium quality blanks, on-trend silhouettes, and a curated selection made to sell. Under $20, deliver in 10 days. And the quality? Fire. Stop paying more for traditional print-on-demand suppliers for less. TapStitch has customizable, trending, well-made clothes, no minimums, and a speedy dropshipping. That's why top fashion brands trust us. You got a vision? TapStitch makes it real.
University? At your age? Do be serious. They're all going to laugh at you, dear girl. You'll never get in. Anyway, you're far too busy with all this.
Unlike your inner critic, Arden University takes a more positive view with flexible degree courses and the support you need to succeed. Start your degree at any age. Silence your inner critic. Search Arden University to learn more.
And it's time for Lefties Losing It, and tonight's edition of Lefties will feature some of the ugliness, some of the utter depravity that has followed the murder of Charlie Kirk, a thoroughly decent, principled man brutally murdered today, and the soulless ghouls of the left were quick to celebrate.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Well, breaking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fantafast's favorite 5-mile-wide mouthpieces, Charles Chuckle Kirk.
And sadly, the vile left has not been shy about showcasing their ugliness, their utter callous depravity. This is what leftism does to your mind and soul.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view?
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
You know, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes. Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
Enough of that trash. Let's look at how the media professionals covered this tragic event, this act of domestic terrorism. Here is MSNBC.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
Yeah, pretty sure we knew immediately it wasn't that. Charlie Kirk supporters don't go around shooting their guns in celebration like they're attending some wedding in Iraq. And of course, MSNBC had to engage in victim blaming by calling Charlie divisive.
Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use. Why?
Well, he's one of MAGA's most prominent voices online. He hosts a near daily podcast.
But that was just stupid. What I'm about to play you is straight out depraved, disgusting commentary. This is Matthew Dowd again on MSNBC, not long after Charlie was shot.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
That was so vile, so hateful and frankly deranged and dangerous that even MSNBC had to take some action, and they've sacked Matthew Dowd, but it's MSNBC. He may be back before the end of the month. And the asinine commentary wasn't restricted to commentators on MSNBC. Governors joined in. Here is the rotund governor of crime-riddled Illinois, blaming President Trump, the man Charlie Kirk worked tirelessly to re-elect. Governor Pritzker blames Donald Trump for fomenting political violence.
Political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it.
Did that nincompoop really mention the Minnesota shooter, the trans-identified lunatic who shot children in a Catholic school and wanted to kill Donald Trump? Yeah, it's Trump who was almost killed by an assassin's bullet who is to blame for leftist violence, not these lefties losing it.
He insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
President Donald Trump has called the murder of Charlie Kirk a dark moment for America.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation. joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace.
And the president noted the spate of deadly political violence from the left. He called such acts, including the assassination of Charlie Kirk, as acts of domestic terrorism.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come.
Let's bring in documentary filmmaker and commentator Ami Horowitz. Ami, this is a dark day for America. I don't think those celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination, and I've seen, sadly, a lot of that on social media, I don't think those people understand what they have unleashed. The anger, the sadness over this assassination is profound.
Yeah, I think you're right. And before I spit fire, and believe me that I will, let me take a step back and talk about Charlie for a moment, and just some personal anecdotes. I considered him a friend. Even though we were a generation apart, he was somebody that if I had a question or some advice, I'd call them and reach out to him. And he's so generous with his time. The first time I met him, God, it was well over 10 years ago, maybe 13, 14 years ago. He was a teenager. He was just starting Turning Point. I think we met at a PragerU conference in California. And somebody introduced the two of us. So this is a guy you should know. His name is Charlie Kirk. He's a comer. And Charlie had been fundraising for Turning Point USA, right? It was the beginning of this organization. And in our conversation, he was talking about the people he's raising money for while he was there. And for anyone who knows who raises money, who has investors, you keep those things close to your vest, right? That's the lifeblood, the money that keeps and creates the organization you're creating. And he mentioned one of these billionaires that he raised some money from. And I just mentioned, just casually, that's a great guy to get money from. I've been trying to reach him for years. Not even asking for a favor. And he immediately said, here's the guy's cell phone number. Give him a call. I'm sure he's happy to help. Okay, that was the kind of guy Charlie Kirk was, okay? A friend to all, a hater of no one. He criticized people, but he did not have hatred in his heart, which makes this even more difficult. Look, I have all types of friends, right? I have friends on the far right. I have friends on the far left. I have friends everywhere in between. And I got to tell you, Rita, I am scared to call some of my friends on the center left, never mind the far left, to talk about this. I'm afraid what they're going to say. Going over the social media, going over Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and listening to what people are saying, even in the mainstream media. I heard you talk about MSNBC over and over again. I think it's important to note the callousness in which they're covering this saddens me and scares me. And if a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, I'm so happy Charlie Kirk is dead," I don't know if I could talk to that person again. I got to be honest with you, Rita. It's just this one divide, and it's blaming it's so funny. It's the left blaming the victim, right? He deserved it, what he said. By the way, he wasn't an alt-right figure. He was a mainstream Republican, right? He believed in family values. He believed that if you're a woman, you're a woman. If you're a man, if you're a man. He didn't have hate in his heart. He was about openness. He had a free speech roadshow right? Where he went to engage people on the left, not to demonize them or attack them, to find out what they thought. And this, I gotta say this, we talked about the violence of the left over and over again. I hate it, but we keep talking about it because it's a recurring theme in our political landscape. And this is another example of that truth, that the political violence we've seen mostly, not exclusively, but mostly comes from the left. And we see on the right, what that actually is the exception that proves the rule, right? And I want to go back for a second to Louis Mangione, because I got to say, every time I think about Charlie's death, I think about Louis Mangione. That to me was really, and the pun is intended, the turning point to this. Because it was when he was murdered, this man who was a healthcare executive, he wasn't even a political figure, right? He didn't have, as far as I know, any political thoughts, certainly not publicly, right? He was a businessman who was murdered because he happened to be in an industry the left didn't like, okay? And the mainstream left, Vita, were talking about how wonderful it was and joked about the killing of this business executive. That, to me, was a significant change in our political culture. Our campuses are, look, as you know, I'm no stranger to violence from the political left. I've been attacked physically on a university campus not that long ago. Why? Because I raised the American flag. Look, you said it. This is something, they've unleashed something dark and terrible, and I'm afraid of what's to come.
I'm with you 100%. If I hear anybody in my orbit express any sort of joy or try to justify this murder, they're cut. You can't have people like that in your life. That's just pure evil. Why would you want to have that in your circle? And like you said, Charlie was hardly a radical. He just expressed very much mainstream views. Things like there's only two genders, that people should get married and raise kids. So that's where you find your greatest happiness. He wasn't some firebrand with radical ideas, not that would justify violence, but we are seeing violence on university campuses, and research from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression shows that 1 in 3 students say that political violence is acceptable. We've got 3 in 4 who are saying that shouting down someone is acceptable on campus, but 1 in 3, Army, who think violence is acceptable, to silence someone who you don't agree with. That is just chilling.
It is, and that certainly tracks with my experience. It's also a feature of the left. Look, the truth is, the left